robotic delivery on her gets away with a disperse.
Some damage on the best. Stone Shield prevents almost all of the Fearless. Right.
Shadow keeps juking. Real can't find the hit. Shadow's still alive.
He's fighting for his life. He's fighting for the championship. He's fighting for everything. He's standing.
It's just their game to lose.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 67 of the Smite Update. My name is Octane Pro, and joining me, as always, we do have F. and Smitten. How's it going?
What's up, nerds? How you doing?
What up, team? I always, every single damn week. Actually, how long have we been doing this crap?
You and I don't know. I do need to go back and look. I want to
You guys
see
have been
like
lovers forever.
when F. and I started,
go.
because before F. There was Risty, and then before Risty it was Dry Bear. So there's only been three. But I think you've been at least 30 episodes, I want to say.
Word.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's
Well-
commitment, dude. That's why you guys are lovers.
Yep.
Chill. For 30 weeks, I have been surprised every damn time you turn my camera on. So at the beginning of every single show, I'm just sitting there like, just staring off into the abyss. I was like sending messages to people. I'm tweeting my stream right now, and like, I just never know what's going on in the beginning, dude. Ever. I'm not even. I don't even have chat open. I'm sorry, chat. Give me a sec.
Are you serious? Yo,
No.
I've had chat open for like an hour now.
Oh,
Yo, can you chill?
snap.
Like, call me out. Thank you. This is
Yeah.
not. This,
Okay,
This
okay.
is not the foot that I want to start
Can we
off
give
on.
him trash now, or should we reserve that for later on?
Later.
This
Later.
dude's later. Dang it, dude. All right.
Yeah, you gotta hold that. You gotta hold that type of stuff, like that dirt, until like you really need it. That's what I've learned
No,
with
no,
that
no,
stuff.
no, not me. I just shotgun everything I got all at once. Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Typical Smitten style.
All right, so for those of you guys checking out the show for the first time, this is the Smite Update. It's a weekly show that airs every week here on twitch.tv/SmiteGame with myself, F. And moving forward, our permanent guest, we do have Smitten. So Smitten will be joining us now full time. She's no longer a guest.
I was going to say permanent guest. That is
Permanent
that's-
That was
host.
the most.
Host.
Can I? That was the most anticlimactic. Like. This
All
is
right,
a
all
big
right. Time out. Time out.
Right?
Time out.
Big reveal, man. Come on.
Time out. Redo of down. F. Why don't you do it? Go. Game face.
Hi guys. I hope you all are happy to be here.
Hi, guys.
If you notice,
Hey, you
over there on the
guys.
right hand side, we have Smitten still here, and that's part of the big news that me and Octane have to unveil. We've done this for a number of weeks, and we've gone through a slew of hosts here and there, but we have finally landed on a proper replacement for our last host. Our new permanent host will be Smitten herself.
Golf clap. So from now on,
Stop.
so from now
Did you
on,
take notes?
we're gonna get Mez to come on the show and do his like crazy
Just do
in a
announcing.
world. We're gonna have him come on and do it.
Or
I
you
know.
can just introduce each section of what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Introduction to the show.
There you go. So, anyways, the show pretty much, guys, is about a variety of different topics. We cover community news, we touch base on what's going on in the esports scene right now, and then we kind of give our thoughts on the upcoming patches that are coming out or previous ones that were released, depending on the dates of the patch releases. So, it's a little bit of everything if you haven't been able to keep up with Smite throughout the week. So, please join us. The show will be about 2 hours, give or take, sometimes runs over. And we are going to start taking a break now, compared to some of our previous shows, because of the length of the show. We are going to take a 5-minute break in the middle of the show, give us a chance to stretch along with you guys, and then we'll come back directly after. So let's go around the table here. F. What have you been up to this week in video games? Playing a fair share of Smite? What do you got going on?
Of course, dude. I mean, I play Smite every damn night for 3 hours. Y'all know that? Where's my Smite game crowd at? But, yeah, no, I've been playing some Smite, of course, watching the SPL more than I play myself because I'm just that guy. And also, of course, Sunday, as always, European Calendar Cup scene with Hinduman out in Sweden still. I have been holding the reins down. Not only did I cast North America this week, but I also called the action for the European stuff as well this week. So, very cool stuff.
So a long week for you then, without a doubt. So, Smitten, what about you? What have you been up to this week? You play a little bit of the PTS? What do you got going on?
Yeah, played the PTS this weekend. Played a. I'm almost like purely just a Smite player. Like I played some Hearthstone today, but like, I mean, Smite. Whenever you play, I feel like it's more of a lifestyle. Cause like you don't play other games when you play Smite. Like there's just so much to keep up with. I mean, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong though. Like, do you guys not do that? Am I wrong?
I just wanted to call you wrong. What is
I think I have attachment issues or something.
No, I agree. When you play Smite, especially when you stream too, it's kind of that is the only thing you play. And you know, every once in a while, like the other night, I needed to play something different, and it wasn't even like committing to it. It was like, hey, I'm gonna try out a new game. I'm only gonna try it out tonight. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Can I make fun of you for that too, by the way?
Why? Why?
Because I watched your stream.
Okay.
And it was 35 minutes of
waiting,
looking at the Arcade Cube.
It took forever. I load up the game.
I'm like, something else, dude.
I load up the game.
In the background.
I load up the game.
Sitting there. No, okay, this was Octane Pro stream.
Clash of Clans, baby. Clash of Clans.
I'm gonna play Clash of Clans, guys.
What else are you supposed to do?
And it was that for a half hour.
So can I thankfully say I am so pleased that we don't have that issue in Smite, because oh my word, the last time I had to wait in a queue to join a game was original WoW. And
oh my God.
That was the last time I had to wait that long. And so I loaded up and it's like 400 in queue. And I'm like, all right, estimated time 15 minutes. Like, okay. Then it's like 30. Then it's like an hour. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So yes, F-Dot is correct. I sat around, played Clash of Clans on my phone.
So
oh my gosh. That's the worst thing about that game.
Did you really have it in his face? Like...
No, it was like this.
No. I mean, Octane's got like these Hollywood camera angles. So he, like,
I know,
he's got like the flyover helicopter coming over and stuff. And
hey, don't be jelly, bro. Come on
I'm
now.
a little jelly. All right.
Just because whatever. Lily V. Anyways.
Oh, you were
Yo, I got a better chair though. I got a better chair than
you do have a better. Yo, my IKEA chair. You know what? Not everybody's got DX Racer all over them right now. All right. I'll take some of that. Share the love. I'll share. I got IKEA. What do you got?
I'll give you my mini pillow. I'll give you the headrest pillow.
Oh,
I need that one.
I got a.
And you could just like duct tape it to your chair and we'll be good.
I spent $30 at Price Club and I got myself a new chair because I fell off the old one. The GIF is circled around, but I got a $30 chair. I'm pretty comfy. It's nice.
All right, you need the chair help more than I do, so you can take the pillow from Smitten. You can take the pillow.
Yeah. Then you can duct tape it to your chair. And then all will be good in the land of the Smite Update show.
That's right. So I think this was the longest intro yet, I will have to say, and the most off-topic intro ever. But so before we go ahead and dive into it, guys, I want to remind you guys the show is available on iTunes. So if you want to enjoy the audio-only version, please go ahead and check it out. Go out to iTunes and search for Smite. It will be the first podcast that you do find. Please make sure you subscribe and leave us some feedback on iTunes. We always appreciate it. So let's go ahead and move forward into community news this week. Oh, I don't have my little arrow. Oh, well. I don't have an arrow for the people to follow along. Jeez. So first thing to talk about this week is Supergem Sundays. Hi-Rez has been coming up with, and there's the air conditioner. There it is.
Hey, I was watching another stream. It's not an air conditioner. It's a setting that y'all use.
Are you done?
I watched another stream, and I heard exactly the same, like...
How come it's only on your side though? Because it doesn't happen for Smitten.
Because I'm cooler.
So yeah.
So
I saw it once, therefore fact. Is that how we operate?
That's right.
Duh.
That's right.
Duh. This is America.
All right, so let's tap into Smite here. So we got Supergem Sunday. Hi-Rez has been doing a lot of things to give back to the community in a variety of different ways. One of the ways is actually giving you guys an outlet and an avenue to get free gems is the way it works. So they have this cool thing going on right now today. You can earn up to 150 free gems, and all the details will be in the link that I do go ahead and put in chat, along with it'll be in the comments here. Pretty much it's to go ahead and like celebrate, you know, the amount of matches played so far. Same thing with Twitter followers, and it looks like 75 gems for the first win of the day, and 15 gems for the first win in each game mode. So a maximum of 150. So go check it out, enjoy it. And moving on from there, we've had some PTS going on this past weekend. I did not have the pleasure of actually being involved with it, But what about you, Smitten? I'm pretty sure you
I
did,
had
right?
all the pleasure.
How'd it go?
It was, oh my god, I can't wait. Like that's the part of the show that I'm most excited about today is like to talk about the PTS and talk about the patch.
Nice.
So we'll get into a little bit more regarding the PTS as we talk about the patch notes and what we're testing and stuff like that. But I put a link in chat coming from Hi-Rez Stu. He's been doing a lot of posts recently on the Smite subreddit regarding a lot of testing that's going on and you know, some of the things that they've been trying to work out. And so I went ahead and put that in chat. You guys can read up on some of the testing that's actually going on the PTS outside of just some of the in-game content that we'll be able to talk about. There's a lot of server-side stuff that's going on right now that is really interesting to find out about. I'll put the second link here as well from Stu. And this one gives a little bit more information, letting us know that they're looking into... The first part of it is they're trying to correct the rubber banding effect that's currently occurring in some situations. So they're testing out some different solutions within the PTS right now that was going on. And is that still... Smitten, do you know, is the PTS still available today? Or has it closed out already?
I tried to get on it earlier today. I'm not sure if it's down right this second, though.
Okay.
It's been on and off all weekend.
Okay.
I mean, as per usual.
Okay, pretty cool. Finally, you know, a few last things in our community section here. This is a cool series that I found that someone started up. It's quite different. So they're going into the lore of the gods, and it's not your just traditional... you know, hey, here's a gameplay video or something like that. This is actually called Smite Lore, Episode 1, Who is Neith? And I don't know if there is a type of art this falls under, but it's all just like, he drew all these different aspects and put all the... Is there a certain name for this, F-Dot? Or do you know?
Hey, I hear it, so it's not just me.
Yeah. There is...
So.
If you...
I'm not putting that out there. But is there a certain name for what?
Is there a certain name for this guy named Never Cake went ahead and started out this YouTube series where he goes ahead and draws different graphics and then puts them together in like a storyboard type of style. And I guess that's the right terminology. I apologize if not. But he puts together the lore of Neith in a storyboard setup. And it's really, really cool because we haven't really seen this in the Smite scene yet.
It reminds me of RSA Animates.
Okay.
We've seen so many like YouTube channels or people on YouTube try to do the whole like Smite lore, like each god thing, because it's a really nice idea for a series. But like this one, I like this one a lot because it's more about the story and like I don't know, it just seems a little more professional. Because before, like I'd seen some where they just threw up like pictures of like depictions of gods and stuff like that, just like off Google. It looked like maybe like a PowerPoint. This one's actually really nice.
Yeah, it's definitely quite creative. I mean, you have the God reveal videos that come out from Hi-Rez Studios where, you know, they kind of go through a little bit of the lore. But this is kind of cool because there's almost a comical side to these as well as you go through and watch it. There's little funny tidbits here and there that are introduced. And so this is the first episode, which they're doing Neith. And so I'm eager to see what this person does moving forward. But doing well so far. So I'll go ahead and put it in chat one more time. It will be in the comments of the YouTube video as well. So please go ahead out there, check this person out, and also subscribe to their channel to go ahead and support them.
We got an update from Stu, Hi-Rez Stu in chat, and the PTS is currently back up.
Oh,
nice.
Okay. Well, that is excellent. I'm happy to hear that, without a doubt. I mean, I did get a chance. I probably won't get a chance tonight, but I'm definitely eager to hear a little bit more about PTS as we get towards the end of the show here and talk about it.
As soon as I'm done here.
Yeah. Moving forward with the Odessey. The Odessey, giving you guys an update. As of this afternoon, we are at 907,000, which is ridiculous. If you guys go ahead and see... I know. It's ridiculous how far we've come, and like, it's like... Oh, my word. Every time... I think, what are we, 5 or what? Okay, we're 6, 7 in right now. How many of those were 7 in?
This many is 7 octane.
We're 7.
5 fingers on one hand.
What I was saying was, how many skin Odessey items are we actually in? You're saying 7? Was that your response there?
This many is 7 octane. There's 5 fingers on one hand.
Yeah, you have such small little hands, bro.
My hands are perfect. Just trust me on that one.
So pretty cool to see. We're right there. We're now at that kind of that long stretch right now. We're almost to that 1 million mark. It's quite exciting.
That's unless everybody like, I'm confident in that number. I'm excited in that number. We don't allow Adonis to say that number, but
yeah.
I do love Adonis. So.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt,
So much.
You know, I'm thinking, I mean, you know, just throwing a number out there. I can see us hitting 1.5. I can see us hitting 1.5 with the path we're going right now. I feel like Hi-Rez also is saving some of those amazing, you know, available skins and stuff like that until, you know,
like Mercury.
Like Mercury, yeah.
Pixel Buster.
Halloween.
Pixel Buster was so nasty. Oh my God, Adonis is here. Oh my God.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name. So yeah, I mean, what do you think, Smitten? What do you think about prize pool so far? Where we're at now with how many skins, you know, they've gone ahead and come out with. What do you think?
I'm so excited. We are so close. Okay, I'm not so. I mean, the only reason I'm really excited about the Odessey is, of course, like the money that I use to purchase these items, like goes directly to the prize pool. What I'm excited about is the prize pool figure. Like, it is so close to $1 million, and I know we're gonna make it there before the actual event. So, so excited.
Outside of that, there was somebody actually posted, you know, kind of rounding things out here, guys. Somebody had posted.
Wait.
What do you got?
Hi-Rez, wait till you see the esports announcer voice pack. Are those spoils?
Oh.
Esports announcer voice pack. That's pretty cool. That's interesting.
Don't act like you didn't know.
I didn't know. It had nothing to do with me, and I'm kind of salty about it. We're gonna move on from that one though. But I mean, honestly, what? I mean, I guess it like a minion has spawned, or like you know
I'm thinking maybe
towers under attack.
Yeah.
Or maybe it just gets excited whenever you're making plays or stuff like that.
Yeah, I think what you'll see is like with your like your kills and stuff like that, your quadra kills, stuff like that, pentakills. Those voices may be in them. Maybe when a tower goes down, fire giant, that type of stuff. That's what it sounds like. I mean, that's a guess that you would kind of hear that. I think that'd be cool.
That could be a lot of fun. I've seen it in other games. I wonder who they worked with. I mean, I would venture a guess and be like Bar Driver or DM. That could be fun.
Yeah.
I might if
saltiness.
the pentakill is DM Brandon screaming pentakill.
Oh, from the launch tournament.
I might make a Smite just to get pentakills over and over. And then hear Brandon go pentakill, because that's exactly what he sounded like.
That's
pretty close.
It's pretty sweet that they're going this route. I think, yeah, after we had talked about something similar to this months and months ago. Yeah, some time ago when we talked about more community-driven voice packs that would allow them. Because, I mean, right now, I mean, with the microtransactions, like, there's an endless amount of content that they can add in. You know, we've seen the emotes now, and the voice packs, you know, are now becoming more popular. Now we hear about esports commentators that will be added in as well. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty exciting. I'm really happy to hear this for sure.
What we're saying is, hold on. What we're trying to say there is, like, all three of us would love to be a voice pack. Make it happen.
You already know.
So moving on from there, something I found on Reddit that I thought was interesting, and I thought we'd bring it up as a discussion point. Don't roll your eyes. I saw that. Don't. I feel like a mother right now. I saw you roll your eyes at me, young man.
Don't roll your eyes.
I know. I'll slap your eye. Slap you. Anyways, so something that was posted on Reddit in the Smite section was, you know, the title was two borrowed features I'd like to see from CS:GO and Smite. And that got me thinking, you know, bringing up a discussion point, you know, what features do we see in other, you know, large games right now that we would like to see in Smite?
I'm going to stop you and just notate all of the F.dot support for voice packs and announcer packs in chat. Attention, Hi-Rez. You have my number. Over.
Stop plugging yourself. Stop plugging yourself. Man,
continue.
Shameless.
It's the people.
So,
we're taking a look at this Reddit post. And, there's some features that CS:GO have. One of them is max acceptable matchmaking ping, which will allow you to set. Basically, you go into console and you can set like, hey, I only want to play on servers that give me less than 69 ping, and that'll, you know, you will only get 68 or below, which is good. I like that idea. That's interesting. Warm up. 5 minutes waiting till everybody logs in the game, you kind of just like roam around and kill people.
I don't know that there's much of a warm-up period because this kind of goes hand in hand with the first comment you said regarding the fact of like a max ping. And I can agree with that because when you go ahead and you're jumping into the bans and picks and somebody has a crazy high ping, you don't know that until you actually get to the loading screen. And then you're like, wait, who are we waiting on? Oh, F dot, because his diamond hasn't loaded. And then it doesn't load. You wait and wait and wait. And then finally you might get into game and then you're like, wait, now it's 4v5. Like, what's going on here because of that person? So I think it's a really good idea, but I also understand how Hi-Rez does not want to limit their player base, but at the same time, if that's going to affect situations where you get into a game and that person's internet is so crappy that they've fallen out of place, now it's 4v5. So I don't know. How would you handle that? Because it's not like you could be like, hey, you need to have 300 ping or better because all of a sudden you're limiting your player base.
Yeah, I mean, max available matchmaking ping is rough. It messes with your experience. I mean, I've definitely put my ping on Counter-Strike. I've definitely, like, put my ping too low and just, like, waited for a match for 30 minutes. And then, like, that's when I get up to go get a piece of sandwich and, like, I just get screwed out of my match. So, like, that sucks. I like the idea of having, like, some sort of lobby system for everybody to get all hooked up because there's nothing worse in Smite than playing 4v5.
You know what I think might be really interesting as far as matchmaking goes is in World of Warcraft, like you sign up as a preferred role. I wonder what that system. I'm not saying that let's do it. I'm just saying like it's interesting to think about like what Smite would be like if that was the case. I mean, nobody would be fighting over roles. Nobody would leave the match lobby because they didn't get the position that they wanted. Like everybody knew what was going on prior to entering the match, and I'm wondering what that would do for the rest of the match.
We talked about this some time back, and I know F-Doc is fired up about this because that's why I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let him handle it because we talked about it a few weeks ago. There's nothing wrong with bringing it back up because it was a good idea. But F-Doc, what do you got? Because I know you got something to say.
I love the idea in theory. It's a beautiful idea in theory. You know, I mean, you take a look at. I mean, some people play casually, yes, but we generally all play to get better. None of us want to feed, and we all have an idea. Our goal might not be to land on cognitive gaming, but we want to be as good as we can be. So, you focus kids in Little League as young as like 5th grade. You say, all right, you're a shortstop, dude.
Yeah. Like,
don't waste your time in right field. You're a shortstop, and you know that's kind of so. Getting the idea of getting comfortable with a single role is interesting and exciting in and of itself because it can make a better player base because people are more honed in on what they want to do. However, in the ranked solo queue, that's not what the game is all about. In fact, it's a much different game in the ranked solo queue from pro or casual or whatnot, in the sense that like you're generally expected to play all of the roles. Like even at the top level in big boy games, Lazes will have to play mid occasionally, or you know, Zapman is forced into the jungle.
All depending on
Is that a result of the current way that matchmaking is set up? Is that the result of our current queue system, or is that a result of this is just what works across all boards?
Well, it's the easiest way. The goal is to get people in games, and when you're limiting, if I say I want to be jungle and hunter are probably the two most fought over roles at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I want to be jungle. My available game pools are much smaller than Jeff Hinla, who's queuing up as support. So it makes an interesting player experience because you might not always get the games that you want. And also, not for nothing, there is some sort of value in learning all of the roles, and I think that's sort of what.
I'm not saying that you know, like you can queue for a role and like say, hey, I would like to try this role. Well, that would guarantee that you got the spot that you wanted to work on. I'm just saying, like, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thought, and I like it. I would like to come visit it again in a year or two. That's kind of how I feel about it. There's a lot of yeah, because we've got a growing player base, which is nice, but right now I think that my #1 priority as a player is getting into a game with correct matchmaking, but getting into a game, period. Once we move on from there, and we have many more people playing, then maybe we can start exploring other options. But I kind of like that solo queue is a different dynamic in and of itself.
Yeah, that was we talked about last time we brought this up a little bit, just to round it out, where we had actually, one of the things we talked about was the fact, well, would this require a separate queue? Like, if you were to do something like this, and then we talked about, well, you got a whole separate queue for kind of this team builder setup. Like, we're already at a situation now where we're fighting with population numbers, and so it really wouldn't work the best if all of a sudden now we had to split up that population of Conquest team builder and then Conquest casual type of deal. So, that's just kind of...
You guys are making it way too complicated. I think it's a lot easier of a system than you guys are giving it credit.
How so? How so?
We'll put this on the agenda for one of these weeks where we can actually have a debate about this, I think.
Are we gonna have to bring on Hi-Rez Chris?
Basically,
and he's gonna tell us why it doesn't work.
Yes.
Smitten can't think on her feet, so she needs to go home and do some homework.
She's like, guys,
coming from the guy that just got owned by my previous statement.
She could pretend like she's witty, so we'll see you in a week or two.
It's okay to feel inferior sometimes.
All right, children. Next. So, what else? Is there anything else that you guys can think of, just off the top of your heads, that you'd like to see implemented in Smite from other games that we'd like to borrow that concept from outside of the team builder? Another thing this person talked about was being able to play or practice before it loads. I don't think our load time's that long. If our load times were like 5 to 10 minutes, I'd be like, sure.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's as a player of the other game, it's not about practice. It's not about actually like, I'm in. I want to, practice my AK spray. It's more about preventing the game from starting without 10 players. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. So what happens is you get in and nobody goes, yeah, practice time. Like nobody uses that for practice. People jump into deathmatch before they go into MM and stuff like that. But it's more about like starting the game with 5 of your boys against 4 people and like bot Owen is just not fun. So, and in Smite, we don't even fill them up with bot Robert. We actually just don't put them in the game. So the idea is 5 people in the game, and you're like, oh, let's run around and tag the Gold Fury at level 1 while we wait for, like, the guy whose computer is also his cable box to actually load in the game. So that's really what that's about. It's less about the practice and more about just having, like, a general wait for everybody to catch up type area.
Okay, I can understand that. That makes sense. That wouldn't be such a bad idea. I think if they went with a system where like that practice period would go on because of like a 4v5 situation where someone drops out or whatever, that's where, and I know we've talked about this before and people are against it, that's where I'd love to see like someone else is put in their place from the queue in order to stop a 4v5. And I know you don't like it, but at least in a casual aspect, I would rather see a full game of 5v5 compared to a 4v4 have to be put into place. The game didn't start yet. You're still in the practice area.
If it didn't start, we can talk. But if 1 second has passed, I don't want somebody new. Like, I don't want to be, like, in a game for 15 minutes, homie disconnects for 7. At the 21-minute mark, 22-minute mark, we just get, like, XX Dragon Slayer 420XX, and he loads in, and he's like, hey, guys, I'm level 12. What's going on?
Let's win the game.
That's chill. But if the game didn't start, I kind of like that idea.
Okay.
You're 1 for 800. Good job.
Oh, thank you. God, I'm gonna fight you at the next land, bro. I'm gonna fight you.
November, actually.
Oh.
Awesome unintentional segue, my man.
What do you got? What do you got?
Are you going to the North American region?
I will not be going to North America. I might. Because I'm going to the January one, and the fact that I may be going to the EU one.
Are you going to Europe?
I might be going to Europe, so.
Big Daddy Ariston, nice.
Right?
I don't know. We'll see.
Manager.
We'll see.
Oh, Mr. Manager! I forgot about that. Smitten, high five. Thumbs up. I just left you hanging. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, you did. Kind of awkward. It's alright. I'm used to it.
So we'll see. That's not 100% confirmed in any way, but it might happen.
No. I'm just saying, calling you Mr. Manager.
Yeah. And then I got Frezzy in chat. What's up, Frezzy?
Frezzy, you better call him Mr. Manager, by the way. Anyway,
that's right.
The Smite Regional LAN, of course, will be there. I'm gonna be there. You can see me. You can punch
so, Smitten,
me.
I don't think you said. Are you going to the regional LAN, or are you waiting till the Worlds?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I'm really not. Okay. Depends on whether or not I can get out there. I mean, it's not a question about time. It's just other fun adult things.
Oh, I understand.
Like finances.
All right.
Like,
PG,
I don't want to admit that. Okay, oh my god. We're done. Move on.
Anyways, you guys can get your tickets for that, by the way, now. for NA and also for EU. I think you can go over to SmiteGame.com and there's a link over there, so you can pick up your tickets now. Make sure that you guys do get them. They sell out pretty quickly, so do check it out. It's pretty exciting, just around the corner. And the last few weeks of the SPL, along with the Challengers Cup, are going to be so crazy in order to qualify for that type of stuff. So I'm excited. I think it'll be great.
So excited.
So excited. All right, so let's move on to Streamer of the Week. F. This is one recommended by you. Who is our Streamer of the Week?
I went ahead and we picked out Odessey. He's a guy that's been streaming Smite for a long time, has a small community based around him. Good friend of mine, Athena, out there. She is a fan of him, so I gave him a little shout out. We play on my Smite game stream. At 1 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/SmiteGames. On my Smite game stream, we actually wound up getting matched up against each other a decent amount in the casual queue. So we see each other, we come and go. I'm better than him, of course. But you can check out his stream. He's a cool Smite streamer. As I said, small little community, so definitely some fun stuff to get involved with.
Yeah, I put the link in chat, guys. Go over there, follow him. It's always good to follow some of these smaller streamers, give them the attention they deserve, without a doubt. So the link is in chat. I'll put it in the comments of the video as well. So our next section here, we are in a minute here going to be bringing on Wolfpack. He's going to go ahead and call in here from Next Wave Gaming. Smitten, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got hooked up with them before we go ahead and bring him on to talk about this new website they have for Smite.
Okay, so I have this mini project that I'm working on. It's top secret.
Ooh.
Only a few people know very little about it, but I was interested. I ran across Next Wave Gaming whenever I googled Smite Pro League stats.
Okay.
And I was looking for numbers because I am I love statistics. I'm a math nerd. I love this stuff. I love seeing comparison, the averages, all this stuff. Anyways, so they were the first people that came up, and I was like, hey, what's this website? And then I saw that they actually do their own player ratings and rank them and compare them to other people. And I was like, what a cool concept. I was like, we need to get him on the show so that he can talk about it.
Okay, well, sounds good.
You can tell people how you actually found the website.
How?
You were Googling for pictures of me and you found my interview.
Oh, yeah. That must be it.
So.
Duh.
No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll bring on.
A different night.
We'll bring on Wolfpack here. Wolfpack, you there? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. How you guys doing?
Good. Tell us a little bit about nextwavegaming.com and why the community should check it out.
Well, first of all, I just want to point out that Next Wave Gaming kind of started because of the SmiteUpdate show, so it's kind of cool to be here and be going full circle. So this, in my head, it's this weird, cool thing that we started with you guys, and now I'm here talking to you guys. So.
I mean, thank you. That's a great compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what Next Wave Gaming we do? We basically do three things. One, we have the calendar, which you guys have mentioned before, where we try to keep track of every event going on in the community. So if you want to do a tournament, come to our website. We give a link. So if Tier Monster's holding a tournament, we have the calendar event, and then we link back to their website so you can go sign up on their website. So we're just this focal point of information for that. And then we also started a streamer calendar. So if you want to know what time your favorite streamers are on, you can go check out the streamer calendar, which also came from Smite Talk, actually, and Buddha, the mod from there, helped to set that up. And then the third thing we do is esports analysis, and we're doing it from a slightly different angle than anybody else is doing. Because what we said was we were watching the qualifiers, the 10 weeks of qualifiers, and we saw that they were saying this player is the best support because he has 10,000 assists.
Okay. And
in a bracket-style tournament, if you are getting to the top tournament, you're also playing the most games, so you have the most opportunity to get more assists. Now, you might actually be getting the most assists. You might actually be the best support, but the metric was skewed. So we said, okay, let's average this out. And then we realized, wait a minute, there's all this other huge database of statistics that we can get to. Why don't we start using those? And everybody in the game has a different job. ADCs are not supposed to be doing the same thing as supports are. So why don't we create a formula where we say, okay, ADC should value this stat, this stat, and this stat. Support should value this stat, this stat, this stat. And, try to create something that's a little bit different out there and tries to encompass the entirety of gameplay. Because if you go 0-20-0, but as a hunter, but you take towers, you take phoenixes, you're going to win that game. Objectives win the game, not kills.
If you go 0-20-0, I'm concerned.
No, you're probably You're probably not doing that, but
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's what I thought was like the most interesting thing is that like they took each role, just came up with what they should be focusing on as far as like numbers go, and then like put it into a formula, looked at like each support, like support against support, like 80 carry against 80 carry, and like just looking at the raw data, and that's what I was like, oh, I love it.
yeah, we use every stat except for creep damage, I think.
Okay.
Which means, just to give you an idea of our process, until we have our API integration up and running, we actually have to go back to every single SPL match and rewatch that game and manually enter the stats.
Oh wow, because you don't have the API at all.
Not
Oh
yet.
my
We have
word.
the key, but we haven't been able to integrate it yet. And we're actually getting a brand new website. It's being built from scratch. So that should be up here in the next month, and that will have API integration. And we're looking at a way to take that player score and alter a little bit so the average player can view their player score, but it's a little bit tricky because of the way we designed it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive that you don't have the API and you're still being able to do this. There's a lot of man hours getting put into it, which shows the dedication without a doubt. Once the API comes into effect, it's going to be a little bit more accurate. So I think it'll have even more credibility than what you guys already do. But with the site overhaul and the fact of that API, like, I'm excited. I think it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, and we didn't, just to give you some background, we didn't just say, hey, this is what I think ADC should have. We brought on Clumsy Death, formerly from Resist Gaming, and people like Jeff Himla, and got them together and said, okay, here's the formula we started with. What did we do wrong, and where can we make it better? So it's not just us saying this is what we think it should be. We brought in pro players and got different perspectives.
Okay, well, cool. Well, outside of the API integration and also the new site overhaul, anything else exciting that you want to let people know is coming down the pipeline?
Well, we are doing, we were doing weekly reviews, just written articles, and we're starting to get into the video side. And so we are doing a video. It only comes out on Tuesdays, so we're not doing a live show or anything. So we usually record it, and then it'll come out on Tuesdays where we do a weekly review video style. So if you missed the SPL, we can go, okay, well, here's what happened this week. Here's your top players. We focus very heavily on our player score. So, I mean, there's a lot more details I can go into about the player score. But
That's great.
I could talk for a long time about the player score.
I can imagine.
If you want me to go.
No, it's okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on today, to be honest with you. We'll definitely be keeping track of the website as time goes on. And, shoot us an email when you guys get the site overhauled, and we can go ahead and highlight it again on the show. And so where can people go ahead and find you and the site as well?
You can always find us at nextwavegaming.com. With the site overhaul, it'll be nextwavegaming.com. Also, if you guys look at the article section, we recently did an interview with FDOT, as you mentioned before. We have interviews with Barracuda and Jeff Himla, IRAF, all that. So definitely check out the website. There's also Twitter at nextwavegaming.com, or not just at nextwavegaming.
Okay.
I'm at Wolfpack89, but with a 0 instead of the O because my name was taken. And then, I mean, my team's been in, or the team that works with us has been in chat and just going crazy in there. So,
yeah, Spostro is or Espostro.
Oh yeah.
Spostro is he's a big member of your team. He's the one that interviewed me. He's actually one of the first guys from your site that I actually really interacted with. So
yeah,
what work did you guys have in your team?
Yeah, he was the author of the Smite Esports blog.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he contacted us and said, hey, I'd like to work with you. Just one thing real quick, if people do look at the stats, just know that you can't cross-compare. So you can't say, because this ADC has a really high score, and he has like an 1800, and then the support has a 1500, the ADC is a better player than support. It doesn't work that way, because ADCs value different things than supports. So they're not cross-comparable.
Well, that's a good point. Good point.
Same thing with mid, solo, jungle. So they're just, you can't cross-compare the roles. So it's very limited within the position. So I wanted to say that before people were like, oh, Barracuda is better than Omega. It doesn't work that way.
I agree. Well, thanks, man, for coming on. Do appreciate it. And best of luck to everybody over at Next Wave Gaming. And as I said before, keep us in the loop. So have a good night.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm going to go back to, typing more things in the spreadsheets.
Yay!
Alrighty.
Spreadsheets for days.
That's right. So thank you, Wolfpack, for coming on. We do appreciate it here. If you guys have what do you got?
I'm sorry. Go ahead and close.
No. What do you got? Hey, Octane. Nope.
Hey, Octane.
So I already forget. He mentioned Clumsy Death, and he worked with another pro player to figure out these stats. What was his name?
Jeff the Sex Indula. I don't know.
Sorry. Wait.
Would you like me to say it again for you? Because
One more time. A little slower next time.
Let me say it for you again. moving on to community emails.
No, say it, Octane!
So once again, if you guys have a site that you've come out with that you want us to highlight, we're definitely for promoting the community and community content. If it's a site, if it's some cool project you're working on, whatever, please make sure that you guys email us SmiteUpdate@gmail.com, and we could arrange something like we did here with Wolfpack on coming on the show and talking about your project and spreading it, not only on Smite Game, but then it also is on YouTube on the VODs as well. So please let us know. So we're going to jump into community emails here, and this is almost along the same lines as Next Wave Gaming. This email comes from Alex and says, it says, Dear Smite Update crew, while listening to last week's Smite Update podcast, something F. said really resonated with me. Sometimes you have to roll the dice, treat something you love like a job, and just go for it. This week I launched SmiteTastic. It's a Smite esports news website where live tweeting every single Smite Pro League game and writing recap stories at SmiteTastic.com. I think we're filling a real need in the Smite community. People who can't watch the games can finally know what happened. So I'll put this in chat, and I've actually seen this guy all over Twitter. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed either, but every time I see it, it's all over Twitter. Every single SPL game, he's following up with Gold Furies or Towers or Fire Giants or big engagements and producing the results so you can follow along with it if you're not able to actually get to the feed. So it's a pretty cool idea. There's the website I listed there, guys, and you can follow the Twitter as well. I'll go ahead and post the Twitter link in chat so we have that.
Nice website.
Yeah. I was actually quite impressed by the website. I like the format.
It's actually really nice.
Yeah, it's really clean. And on top of that, very easy to follow, very informational, and I like the articles as well. And the guy had some more in the email, and he talked about how, I guess he was a journalist and is currently not employed, so he's trying to make this like a full-time opportunity now. So this is good, and I can imagine you enjoy this type of stuff too, F. just because of you really enjoying this type of more and more content like this, where authors are putting together articles.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of just like journalism in general. It's I read a lot of. I'm a reader, and I wind up reading more articles and stuff than books these days. I really value like that sort of aspect. And, as Wolfpack came on and said, this is sort of the conversation that spurred their website. Was just the fact that, like, hey, we're a young scene, we need more real journalists involved, and Spolstra was doing his own blog, and Wolfpack came and they joined forces to create, Captain Smite Planet, and that's sort of it's pretty neat to see a lot of new websites come up and just people caring about the scene. It's cool to see some of this stuff come out, and especially this level of quality. I mean, I saw the Twitter. I know the Twitter. I didn't see the website though, and it's definitely cool stuff. And I like how readable Smitten's face is all the time. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at her camera and I see her she goes ahead, she clicks, and she's like, "Damn, I'm impressed." And she got this impressed face on. So we're not just slinging it here at the Smite Update. We actually impressive stuff, Smite.
We're real people who experience real events.
Yeah, if you go through and read
Sunday.
read some of the details. Like his latest article, it's quick and to the point. Like the latest one here, Dignitas win streak goes to 9. Snipe falls quickly. And if you read through it, he's got like some Twitter posts in there as well from some of the players and stuff like that intertwined with it. And then he adds stats into it. But then look how clean like the picks and bans are. Just scroll at the bottom of that article. Like this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. And I like that we're kind of taking the journalism side of things and take it to the next level within the Smite scene. So go flood this guy's page. I think we shut down 1 or 2 people's websites in the past. Let's see if we can do it with this one too.
It's really slow. I think we broke it already.
Did we kill it? By the way, Mr. Manager, I like how you picked the Dignitas win and not the mortality loss to highlight.
Oh.
Just putting that out there.
Hey, man.
Actually, I went with the first article that was at the top of this page.
Actually.
I hate you.
Okay.
Moving on. that was not intentional. There is no bias, okay? Well, we're going to talk about the TSM Invitational here. There's no bias. Come on now.
Are we allowed to talk about it, Octane Pro?
We can talk about it as much as we want. There's no bias. I could do 2 jobs at once. All right. So let's go ahead and throw it over to, let's see, who should we give this one to? Let's give this one to F. F. Why don't you take community email number 2?
Of course. Hey, F. Octane Pro and Smitten. I had to put my name first, just being that guy.
Oh.
We all know that the new Arachne is super broken right now, and we all saw it coming. That's a little assuming, but you damn.
Yeah.
Yep.
My question is, once she's balanced, what tier do you see her falling in? This is a loaded question. Can't really. Also, long-time listener, first-time writer, Legacy. Thank you, Legacy. I think that's very long-time listener, first-time writer. I like it. Thumbs up. And props to the intro music. Octane, where's our intro music from?
The music of the video was done by Anuki, and the music I can't recall. I'd have to find it.
That's your freaking credits. You have to know.
I know. I gotta find it. I'll find it before the end of the show. Don't worry.
Wow.
But
One job.
That's
Mr.
your
Manager.
job right now. I will.
All right, fine.
We'll take care of this email from Jay.
Yeah.
Your
Take
job
care of
is to
business.
go look for it. Okay.
all right, Dad. Fine. God.
All right. So, you can't really answer this question because when she's balanced, we don't know how she's going to be balanced. Because right now, Arachne can do about 1,000 damage in a single hit. It's a little obnoxious. It's sort of like Loki, but for some reason it bothers me a little bit more, Smitten. How do you feel about that? Because
About
Loki
Arachne?
does that. Yeah, like Loki does the same thing as Arachne, but a little bit different. And I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know, like, I think we all feel like this buyer's remorse, like, after, a god gets their kit changed. And so we're all kind of like, yeah, this is going to be so OP, it's going to be so fun. And then once we get there, we're like, oh, but old Arachne, like, I miss the pool. I miss,
I don't.
like especially since, like, they use some of the same sound effects for her kit, right? And so I was just like, that's what the old pool used to sound like. I don't know. I actually haven't seen her too much in Conquest, not in pre-mades at least. Like, usually whenever I'm doing solo casual queue, like, you may see one there, but like, I don't really know. I don't know how I feel about her yet because I haven't had very much experience with her on the battlefield.
Yeah, I mean, one of the major concerns that Zindern brings up, Zindern, of course, is actually, you've been upgraded to pro player now. Zindern used to play for Agilitas, and now he is. This is the second week in a row that he's covering for Ninja Bobat on
Nice.
Coast. I wonder how permanent that is because it's the second week? Question mark.
Well, he's also locked in as well. So.
Yeah, but people do that all the time. But I mean, thirst thrusting. LOL. Anyway, the problem with Arachne that Zindern brings up is that she has a stacked speed steroid and a heal. Loki obliterates you, and if you turn on him, he'll just die or he'll vanish. Arachne can get extremely low, close to death, and just turn around and
Hit her
fight you.
one.
Yeah, and she heals. And I mean, I like that the core of the characters don't fight the bug, don't 1v1 her. I like that they kept that mentality, because that's really, like I said, that's the character of the god itself, sort of like Odin and his ring, or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Dude,
But
her
it's a
baits are
little
real
cliche.
though. Her
Yeah.
baits are real. Like if she can get you to follow her into their side of the jungle,
She
and she's
throws
like
down the
kinda
web.
low and you're chasing it, she throws that down, and then all of a
Yep.
sudden she hits her one. She's right on you. She's like halfway, full health, and like ugh, and then you just die in like 3 hits. As soon as you're cocooned, like it's over.
So I guess going back to the question, like it says when we see her balanced, as we talked about the other week, like Hi-Rez doesn't just put out a god and then make a balance change directly after it, unless it's something astronomical, like hands down, which most of the time they've done very good with that. More recently, in the past, we've seen like a god come out and then like a few days later, it's like fixed. But most of the time, they're doing like a month or so until they actually go ahead and correct that. So I don't know what we're gonna see. They like to get their stats, they like to get their data on the god to balance her out. But they're saying once she's balanced, where do we see her at? I mean, her mobility is amazing. And that helps hand in hand with her ultimate, allowing that. As a whoa, all right, a motorcycle's going by. Somebody.
Sorry, my mic's really sensitive.
It's okay. So I guess, what the heck was that? You all right there?
Did
It's a
it scare
hiccup.
you that much?
No, it's a hiccup.
Oh, I thought you were like, hey, look.
Somebody get us a gif of that one too, please. So yeah, with her mobility now so high and her availability within the jungle, I don't know. I mean, do you put her up there with Mercury right now? What do you guys think?
Wait, what?
Not with Mercury. Because Mercury is
Actually played.
we don't talk about Mercury.
No.
Mercury's in a league of his own. But let's put it this way. Man. Arachne has been banned in multiple pro league games without ever really being played. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the auto ban then, pretty much at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a little obnoxious in my opinion. It's sort of a wasted ban question mark. Although we have seen Arachne be played, but the team like at a high level, single gods like that, it doesn't really work out. People haven't practiced, etc. But I mean, like, I don't know. Arachne is super strong. We're gonna see, or Hi-Rez is going to see how the win rates go after a while. And from there, I guess we'll judge, because right now she is extremely strong.
Well, I know when we had Hi-Rez Chris on many episodes ago, one of the statements he said about like balancing, we were talking about him, and he said like our goal is to not put out a god that is auto banned. If that is the case, we're doing something wrong. Like,
Rip.
I know. So Chris, let's talk about it, bro. Yeah, Arachne. I mean, even casual games. Banned all right away, and then even you talked about
Can't ban in casuals.
Can't ban in casuals. Okay, ranked. Is that better?
No.
Jeez, but like, you know what I mean?
Pre-mades.
Yeah, that's all I play is pre-mades. I'm sorry, F that. Sorry, bro. But yeah, I mean.
Sorry, I'm not casual scum.
Yes, man.
Wow.
Lay it on him. Lay it on him.
Spiders, calm down.
But yeah.
Wide open.
I think we can all agree that Arachne at this point is auto banned without a doubt, almost every other game. So hopefully we see some changes.
Not at all.
No? Are you joking?
Sorry. Okay. Never mind.
What you got?
What?
Tell me.
I don't think that like wait like I have a group of tryhards that I run tryhards pre-mades with.
Nice.
Arachne is never banned, ever. Like I would ban Nuwa over Arachne any day of the week. Like there are way better
Really?
bans. Like she's strong, but like you just got to know how to like.
Who's picking your
counter her.
bans on your team? Let's talk about that.
I think that speaks more volumes about the lack of Arachne players more than the Arachne the god itself.
That is actually a very good point.
I
will
was
give
gonna
you that,
say.
sir. I concede.
So let's go ahead. We'll move on to our last question here, and we'll throw this over to Smitten. Why don't you go ahead and take this one?
All right. Email from Nicholas. Right before the bye-week, Hi-Rez Studios made several comments about reviewing the pausing policy and making some adjustments. Whatever happened with that? I know a lot of ideas were thrown around the scene. Did I miss the correction after the bye-week?
So we actually will talk about this more at the end, but well, we can talk about it now. It's fine. It's a good segue with the email. Upcoming changes in the next patch. Pause changes. F10 is the new hotkey to pause the game in custom matches.
Segue.
The game must now be paused for 5 seconds before it's unpaused to prevent spam issues. You all right?
I was on a segue.
Yeah, we were on a segue.
Oh my word! You smart asses. So once again, as I was saying there, the game must be paused for 5 seconds, and this is to correct pause spamming. On top of that, they added in a checks for the team in combat status, and this is something we talked about quite a bit actually before the bye week. Pretty much, it checks is anybody in combat, any team member channeling an ability, dealing damage, or receiving damage is considered in combat, and such a pause cannot be performed. So that pretty much sums up exactly where we're at right now. But look, we got a finger. What do you got? What do you got?
You can be channeling something, you just can't be dealing damage. It's the same exact algorithm as combat, like for Blink.
See, but
So
you
you
shouldn't
can-
be able to be channeling something because it says any team member channeling an ability.
Oh, well, maybe then it's
Dealing
different. I'm completely
damage
wrong.
or receiving damage is considered in combat.
I will forever be upset because I like the DQ boy spam when we get a pause. Like, it is hilarious. Like,
What's the
especially-
worst reason to like it?
Especially when there's no, it's not even close to a DQ. We're like,
It automatically-
5 members are in the base, and the game is paused, and chat just goes, DQ boys! And
Yep.
Spam. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
it is entertaining. I agree. So what do we think about this? What's our consensus around pretty much? The solution after the bye week for right now is just no combat pausing. You literally can't do it now. How do we feel about this? Smitten, what are your thoughts on it?
I think honestly, when you look at it from more of an objective like position, and like I understand, like we are all very passionate about the esports scene here in Smite, and so like it's really easy to attach ourselves to these teams and to these plays and to the games, but we really need to stop for a second and just look at it objectively. I mean, of course they don't want people combat pausing, because that gives way too much advantage. It gives you more insight to what's going on in the game. If you weren't already aware, it gives you, it's like spoilers almost. So, and it allows you to pre-plan, and that's not really what this is all about. So
Okay. F. Dot, what are your thoughts on it? Do you like it? I mean, especially in your, let's talk about in your situation, being somebody that is overseeing the Challengers Cup. What does this do for you? Are you pleased with it? Does it clear things up? Where are we at with it?
It's one less thing that I gotta worry about, dude. It's one less thing that I gotta, pull my hair out about, because trust me, there are many instances where everyone wants to get everyone DQ'd all the time, and my admins, every single time it happens, admins like, hey, F. Dot, what about this? And then 9 times out of 10, it's like, dude, you were on your tower and you shot an arrow that was, that's not happening. And then every once in a while, we got to call up APC for the cases that actually matter, and we take a look at everything. So that's just one less thing off my plate. It's pretty cool. I like it. I'm gonna give a shout out to my man MLC Stealth, who never had an issue with this. He always just sat there saying, dude, just don't pause in combat. It's really just that simple. I mean, coming from that school of thought, you are a professional video gamer. Your entire job relies on hitting buttons at the right time. If you can't hit the pause button at the correct time, maybe think about what you're doing right now. So there's that. But one of the bigger problems that it offers is that while I'm totally on Stealth's side with that. The problem is we get good games sort of ruined for that reason. We've had finals in the Challenger scene, both North America and not Europe. We've had North American finals Challenger Cup just ruined because of a bad pause. We've had semifinals ruined. Teams that have been down by 10K plus win because of a bad combat pause. Yeah. So, it's a fix that I wish wasn't necessary, but at the end of the day, it is. So I welcome the new F10 Overlords.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think I agree with you. It was such a shame to see teams lose because of combat pausing when they, they should have won. So I can understand. I completely agree. We're gonna go ahead and go ahead.
It's also for the fans. That's kind of. I mean, as a fan of, Dignitas, Cogred, that game was dope.
Oh, my word.
I was, and I was just like, yo.
Oh.
That's it. That's what we get.
That's how this ends?
Yeah, and I'm involved in everything. I'm a caster. I'm a fan, dude. I want to watch quality matches from quality teams, and, it's sort of like somebody brings you your dinner, you get to have a bite of it, and then they throw it on the floor, and you're like, nope. Tough crap, you can't have it no more, and that sucks. So I'm glad that something has been done, because that a lot of times players can inadvertently wind up gypping the audience. And that's fun.
No, I think that's a very good point. We'll have to see how things work out. It hasn't been applied yet, but moving forward, we'll have to see when this does get applied, how it works out for everybody. Sounds great, though. We'll have to give it some time and then maybe get some player feedback on it, see their thoughts on it. But I can't see there being much complaining, but we'll have to find out. So rounding out the community email section, if you guys want to email the show, we'll answer your questions on the show next week. Email us at SmiteUpdate@gmail.com. One of our mods will go ahead and throw it in chat there for us. Once again, SmiteUpdate@gmail.com. Also want to let you guys know, please go ahead and give us some feedback on the show. Directly below this video stream here, there is a streamer feedback button. Go ahead and click on it, select Octane Pro, and give us feedback on it. Let us know your thoughts. That feedback goes directly to Hi-Rez, and then they come back to us and let us know. So let Hi-Rez know if you like the stream, if you like the show, thoughts, comments, click that streamer feedback button. Everyone counts, so please make sure you do. We're going to go ahead now and move into our esports update, kind of catch up over the past 2 weeks here. kind of what we missed out.
God.
Before we jump into that, I want to let you guys know if you are a player trying to transition in the scene from casual and ranked and want to start to play in some tournaments, 2 sites to check out: SmiteCentral.com and also TierMonster.com as well. Both of them have a variety of different tournaments that you can go and sign up on. I think between the 2 of them, you have every day of the week covered in availability for tournaments. So go check it out. Smite Central and also TierMonster.com.
And also the freaking Challenger Cup.
The what?
Direct path
The
to
what?
being a pro Smite player.
Correct.
That's the obvious one.
Is
though.
it? Okay, so here's my question. Is it too late, though? If you're a new player, you jump in now. Well, I guess you could get on a team that's already progressed. Right now, I guess you could.
So is it too late to be an SPL player? Most likely. Mathematically, yes, it is.
Okay.
But in the Tier Monster and the Smite Central tournament, you get some good experience in a tournament setting, but it's a much different mindset from the Challenger League. Challenger Cup is played by people that value themselves as professionals, either currently or in the future, people that want to be pros. So if that's the type of experience you're looking for, if you're looking for a drop everything, sweat it out, play, as hard as you can to possibly be the next Barracuda, Challenger Cup is where you got to go. And you don't have to sign up anywhere. You just show up an hour before in the team speak, and that's that. So.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's a good point. It's a good point for sure. So let's go ahead and move into esports update. As you guys know, last weekend we didn't have a show, but what did occur during that weekend period was the TSM Invitational LAN event that went on in Sweden, and so we did have that event going on. So let's just talk about it. Overall, it was a 35K prize pool that went on, which was pretty cool. Those of you guys not familiar, the prize pool was community funded through the Apollo TSM skin that we saw come out after the launch tournament. And proceeds went directly to fuel this. So 35K, not bad for one day of playing for these players. Cell phone. It was 4 teams four teams that we did have there. We had SK Gaming, Mortality Esports, Exposed Secrets that we did have there. And so it was a great team solo mid finally. A great tournament that did go on. It was something kind of cool because we haven't really seen tournaments like this yet in the Smite scene where it wasn't part of Hi-Rez. It was kind of one of the teams hosted it. It was in a LAN center versus like a big spectacle type of deal. So I'll throw it around the table. I'll throw it to Smitten first. What were your thoughts on the event overall before we get into details?
This is Octane Pro picking the probably worst person to talk about this because I didn't get to catch any of it.
Ask Smitten about esports and pick me for skins, okay?
Yes, I will do. Yes.
There's
a reason I didn't pick you first, F-Dot. So you be quiet. You be quiet.
No, man, let him do his
All right.
That's what he's here for.
So, all right. We'll talk about it in general. Just what are your thoughts on the fact of having a LAN event? It was at a LAN center, 35K, Team Solo Mid running it type of thing. What are your thoughts on that?
So Team Solo Mid was running the tournament, got knocked out in the first round, unfortunately. Exposed Secrets. This was...
It was their tournament. Oh, my word.
This was the launch, honestly. 1.5 weeks before the TSM Invitational, I'd say, Exposed Secrets started to feel themselves. Zelia, essentially. That's the end of my analysis. Zelia just got really big.
He is
all of a sudden.
Ridiculous right now.
Those of you that are newer to the Smite scene, might not be familiar with Zelia because he's on Exposed Secrets right now, and they struggled in the beginning of the SPL. But once upon a time, Cloud9 was a different team. In place of NQ was Zelia, and much like, I guess we celebrate NQ. Game Hunter still celebrated as the solo laner. Zelia was super celebrated like that. So there's
You all right?
I'm not touching anything going on right now. I'm leaving my hands out of that one. But
it's not us.
So Zelia was the lauded along Game Hunter for being numero uno, and then he opted to go to Exposed Secrets with some of his friends, which a lot of people looked at as a poor decision, myself included.
Oh, I agree.
And then Zelia dropped off in talent, or stop that. Zelia dropped off in performance, whether that was a drop off in talent, attention to the game, teams surrounding him, number of things that I don't know. I sat there and I was like, look, Zelia fell off. This happened. It's yesteryear, and I am so happy he made me shut the hell up because Zelia's a cool guy with a lot of talent, and he's reminding everybody just who the hell he is. He came out, like I said, a week and a half-ish before the TSM Invitational, kind of being intentionally vague on that because I can't exactly I don't have to go and pinpoint the game that it happened, but Exposed Secrets went from a team pre-SPL even that was a team full of people that should do well together, but at the end of the day just didn't have the glue, the mesh. They couldn't pull it out despite having a lot of talent on their roster, and all of a sudden Zelia just turned the key, dude. Zelia just turned it up. And
he is definitely the solo laner to watch right now, and when you're going against Exposed Secrets right now, like he's the person. Like it's funny because like throughout the week, I heard some of the casters talking about trying to ban him out, and you really can't. Like as a solo laner, and his gameplay is amazing. And I agree. And when we went to the TSM or when we had the TSM Invitational, he was definitely one of the players that stood out. I mean, to me, him and Frostiak, just the combination of those two is amazing. Those two paired together. I was watching some of the games over the last 2 weeks or so, and it's scary. It's scary. I can only imagine being some of these players going against them. So, so we had the TSM Invitational. First game was SK Gaming versus Mortality, and it ended up being 2-1 over Mortality. SK Gaming played very well.
That was a good set.
It was. The first game of that was didn't look the best. I'll be honest with you, for Mortality, and I will not be biased in any way. It didn't look great for them. They're a fresh land team outside of Sio, and they didn't.
He's not exactly your numero uno land performer.
No, exactly. It's not like he is like a Lassus or a Zapman who has so much under their belt and they do amazing in LAN events. So we had a team, they did not do good in game 1. And then in game 2, I thought it was a really good game. SK Gaming versus Mortality could have swung either direction.
Agreed.
SK Gaming took that one, and then finally with the last game there as well. And so it was interesting because going into the TSM Invitational, those of you guys not familiar, Mortality was seeded first. And SK was seeded 4th. And this was coming very much from the SPL rankings, which it's crazy how they've changed since over the last, 2 weeks? 2 weeks? It was crazy. It's shifted so much. And it's been really interesting to see how the teams have matured over the last 2 weeks, especially with that bye week. So that was our first set. Our second set, Exposed Secrets. Exposed Secrets 2-0 over TSM. And I always feel bad for someone like TSM who hosted the event and then just was out after the first round.
Did you watch the check ceremony, Octane?
It was awesome. TSM had such a good mentality, and that's what you want to see out of a friend. I'm sorry, just laughing, thinking of their hair.
I mean, that's what they do. I mean, Team Solomid, and I actually tweeted about this.
Yeah.
Because it's really important to me to see players enjoy what they do, win or lose. I mean, obviously this is a business as well as it is fun. You want to win. You have to win to keep your job and your livelihood at some points. But all in all, we play the game because we like it, and we play the game with who we play the game because we like them. And seeing the Team Solo Mid dudes come out losing in the first round of their own tournament, they came out from backstage or whatever, hair blown out like Jersey Shore, jumping around each other, hugging each other, just really understanding that we
good attitude.
Just great attitude, and I think that's really important for a team like Team Solo Mid that has its ups and downs. Winner of the launch event, not really anything to say after the fact.
Yeah,
bad straight up during the beginning of the SPL for one reason or another, and now week 5 they're doing well. They're a solid middle of the pack team, and they've had their ups and downs, like I said, but through a lot of solidarity, they've really kept their composure, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and they're doing well, and I love to see that sort of atmosphere in a team.
Yeah. So then we see the guys. There was only 4 teams, so it was best of 3 for the first set, best of 3 directly underneath that, and that funneled directly into your grand finals there, where you had Exposed Secrets versus SK Gaming, and SK Gaming did well against Mortality, so they were shifted directly into the finals there. But then Exposed Secrets, oh my word, 3-0.
They didn't lose a single game.
No, and something like this is amazing to come into the second half of the SPL. You're riding that wave and doing phenomenal. And now we see them. I mean, looking at the standings right now for EU, they're 9-4. They're top seed right now. After coming out week 1 directly out of the bye week, and it's amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Zelia's a player that reminds me of Reels in the sense that he can get his team behind him, like he can rally very, very well. And Reels that's part of the reason. That's part of why I think SK does better on land than he do online. Is Reels is just passion for the game, and he basically homie just gets loud and excited a lot. Can really make his team go and excited. And Zelia is a generally reserved individual, but when he plays the game, he gets excited. And not only that, but his play style is exciting. When Bakasur is 4-0 in the solo lane in 10 minutes,
that's scary.
You can't help but just look at your teammates and go, "Yo, we're killing it, man! Go Zelia!" And you kind of, especially in the solo lane position. Smitten, shut up. Especially in the solo lane position, you're sort of all by yourself, and the rest of the team is doing all this work together. Solo lane goes 3-0, 4-0, gets the tower down. And you're like, damn, he just rocked that. We need to make sure we don't drop the game for our dude Zelia that's killing it right now. So there's a lot there, and like I said, I always valued Funball. I personally, back in the Team Toast days, back when Coast sponsored the old Team Coast, I always valued Funball as arguably the best hunter in EU. Everybody talk about Smek and Youngman. I'm sitting there like, yo, Funball just hits everything all the time. And Cret and I actually went over this on Banzeus, which has on Tuesdays on Smite Central, and we talked a little bit about why this team is experiencing so much success, and I think Zelia is a big part of it, but the meta is also favoring them right now with magical hunters, and Funball's pocket hunter is Chronos, which we haven't really seen yet. I want to see some of that. There's a lot of cool stuff working out for exposed secrets, and they're all floating on this high that is Zelia's just on his hot streak. And like I said, I said that Zelia fell off for a while. I didn't even call it a slump. I just said he fell off, and I am so wrong, and I'm so happy that I'm wrong, because this team Exposed Secrets is incredible to watch.
So how about Zelia's Mercury right now is disgusting in the solo lane. It's so scary. It really is. It's unbelievable. His, we talked a little bit about his god pool, and it's endless. He could take anything, I feel like, and the potential to make it succeed in solo lane.
Oh my god, Octane.
What? What's wrong?
That was quality analysis.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna mark this down on the
Where's the calendar?
Way to interrupt me right in the middle. Way to interrupt me right in the middle of it, bro. Right in the middle of it.
28. Octane said something smart. Okay.
6:19 p.m. The timing is very important.
Fight me, bro. Fight me. So anyway, it's just the fact of right now, it's interesting because example, Mortality Esports game this past week where we saw him go with Mercury, and then we had their jungler end up going with Ymir, where we've seen Zelia actually go with Ymir and do very well in solo lane with it. Now we see the switch role, and having both these gods like Frostiak and Zelia dominate in both these roles.
Oh yeah,
I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him. It was a really, really crazy game to watch. And as you said, or just earlier, you talked about Zelia. He's always an exciting player to watch, and during the matches. And so, anything else on the TSM Invitational? We talked a little bit about surprises and upsets. How about the venue and a land center? A little, non-traditional for Smite tournaments, but I actually like it, and I personally would love to see more of it. We don't have to have these huge prize pools, but I'd love to see some of these smaller events turn up. What are your thoughts?
I only saw, I watched the VODs, of course. I haven't really spoken to Hindu Man about it just yet.
Okay.
Hindu Man, of course, is still
in Sweden,
gallivanting amongst Sweden.
Nicely said.
Whatever it is he does, making me cast at 4 in the morning for the Challenger Cup. Thanks, Hindu Man. But no,
someone's not salty or anything.
No, I'm just joking around. I actually love doing what I do, and more opportunities is fun. But Hinduman's still stuck over there in Sweden and enjoying the weather, the wildlife, the people, etc., etc., etc. So I haven't really gotten a chance to really speak to him at length about the venue, but from what I saw, it looked like a really nice place, and you know, it doesn't have to be gigantic. It was in, I'm gonna butcher this, Swedish people, I apologize in advance. It was in Galv, Sweden, and it looked like a nice place. The players, from what I heard, liked it and enjoyed it. It's cool stuff. You know,
Oh,
nice.
it's a motorcycle.
I'd like to see more lands, but you know, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's quite exciting. I mean, I think that is good for the scene. I love to see smaller ones turn up. I mean, granted, you know, money is everything to get players there and sponsors and stuff. But you know, either way, I think it's great. You know, it's good to make Smite a bigger thing out there, partnering with some of these land centers. So let's go ahead. Well, any last comments on TSM Invitational before we move on to the SPL and Challengers Cup? All right.
Not really from the Invitational. Just the VODs are up. If you watch the last game of the finals, that's when you can see the check ceremony, and I think that's really important. One of the things I always talk about when people ask me about my specific casting style is bring the players away from the in-game avatars. When you see Zelia, you know, I want you to picture a skinny guy with long hair, not Bakasura. That's important to me. You know, it's important. It's important for you to understand that, like, Iraffer is his name is Cred. That's what he does. You know, and watching the check ceremony, you get to see these actual players, and Hindu Man, of course. You get to see the actual players, and I think it's a really big part. So if you don't watch any of the VODs, watch the last game and see how all the players interact with each other at the end. It's really cool to see your pros actually standing there and talking.
Yeah. Yeah. No. That's true. So let's go ahead. We'll talk about the SPL, also with the Challengers Cup, and round things out for esports here. So, you know, looking at our standings right now, I'll go ahead and put a link in chat for you folks if you guys are interested in where everyone's standing at. The North American scene, Cognitive Red just dominating, 11-2. Definitely a team to be afraid of. I'll be honest with you. Like, these young guys have been playing phenomenally, and their progression throughout the SPL has been very steady and very dominant, whereas the rest of the league, EU, and the rest of NA has fluctuated a ton. So we see 11-2 right now at Cog Red. Team Dignitas 9-4.
11-2. And DM Brandon never fails to mention this, and I need to mention this as well. One of those losses is the combat pause defense.
Yeah, right?
That they were winning by a long shot.
And then we have Dignitas on the other end who took advantage of that, who's now 9-4. And I remember a few weeks back where Team Dignitas was definitely in the bottom few, and this was when they had their huge roster change.
Fourth? I think they were fourth last time we did the show.
Yeah. Like they were. Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. Before that, they were even lower when we were questioning them. I think it was after week 1. Yeah, it was after week 1, and we were like, "Oh, new roster, pretty." Yeah, we were a little iffy, but oh my word, have they proven us wrong? 9-4 right now. You know, right now ranked second, doing very, very well. How about the game the other day with Giannis? Oh my word! That was. And so those of you guys not familiar with it, you pretty much had the game the other day where who were they playing? Who was that? That was. Do you recall that? I don't remember who it was. Anyways, they were playing the other day. Enemy team. Chat's gonna help us out here. And what we ended up seeing was both teams went for the Fire Giant the exact same time. But it was interesting listening to the casters. If you guys go back and watch the replay, you see it. The casters are like, okay, they're like, Team Dignitas is starting to stack together here. What are they doing? They're migrating to the left here. What's going on? And we see the enemy team going ahead and hitting the Phoenix. They're starting to hit the Phoenix. 3 Phoenixes are up. All of a sudden you see Giannis ultimate in, and they're like, then the casters just go nuts. You see the entire team on top of the I call it a Fire Giant. I'm sorry, Titan on top of the Titan, and all of a sudden now the opposite team's like, what do we do? Do we go port back? Do we push forward and see if we can take it down faster? It was phenomenal. It was, oh my word, it was amazing.
it was fun to watch. I'll leave it at that.
What are you saying? Is he brought? Never mind.
Yeah.
No, what? What's up?
I was gonna say like you probably like I'm sitting here in my mind trying to like figure out what you look like while you're watching these games. I've thought like he's probably
Screaming.
like all of the players just like getting super excited and like yelling at the monitor. Like that's how I see you watching these games.
Yeah, I mean that one came directly after an extended pause, so I might have been a little less excited about everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it
that
was
code?
cool to. What I really liked about that was the day before, or maybe even a couple of hours before, I played with Hi-Rez Dan, and we played a match, and that's exactly how we won. We were down by a whole bunch of gold, and he was just like, "Everybody go to Golf Fury, we're gonna do it," and we just like tunneled into the Titan, and we killed it. And as soon as they won, Dan just texts me and he goes, "Yo, I thought you see that Dignitas win?" I'm like, "All right, it's my job to watch. Of course I saw it," and we giggled about it, and you know, we're expecting our check soon because that was on stream. So I know you guys took our strategy, but I really think that Dignitas has made the turnaround. It's something that, you know, I don't want to be that guy, but Bart got to do it. Bart got to do it with the TSM Invitational, so I'm going to do it here. Told you so. Told you so. I sat here while all y'all in chat went, "No, Dignitas is fallen. They got rid of Shadow Q. They're never going to be good again. Who's this Gnaw guy? Dare to care? Dare to who cares?" Oh. And I said, "Nah, dude.
You don't even know.
It's a different play style. I don't know about Gnaw, but I know that Dare will work out. Even though I hate him, it'll work out and everything. We'll figure it out." And they're not at 4.
Yo, Nas Vulcan though?
Everybody
Nas
talks about Nas Vulcan. I still haven't seen it.
Are you blind? Do you not see how absolutely calculated he is with those meatballs, man? Like he doesn't waste any second
In the SPL?
the game.
In the SPL?
Yeah.
He's
And
only put it once.
Okay, well that was today's game, and I was super hype, and I hope that I get to see him play it again. Like he plays it a lot on stream.
I still want to talk about Arrow and Pretty Prime's Vulcan, but that's Europe, so maybe a different time. But what's it called? I'm really impressed with how far they've come, and what they've done. And are you guys familiar with Zapman's Ego Twitter?
Yes.
Are you guys familiar with the Zapman's Ego Twitter?
No.
Oh, so check it out.
Zapman's Ego is it's obviously not Zapman.
Yeah.
And it's this like over the top parody account, just completely ridiculous, and it's hilarious, especially if you know Steve. Especially because it's like not anything he would do because he's a polite person, but if he wasn't, this might be what he says. And one of my favorites was Odessey, the owner of Dignitas, said, you know, "Well played today, all the Dig guys. We were rolling as I said we would." And Zapman's Ego responds, "When do I get the money for throwing week 1?" And like it's such a prototypical.
That's awesome.
Tweet from this account, and this stuff, I absolutely just love this stuff. And Zapman's Ego, whoever you are out there, keep doing what you do. It's a hilarious account. But on a serious note, I expected Dignitas to be here. They're just, you don't keep these players down. Zapman is, it's funny. Zapman is like one of the, you know, people see Zap and for whatever reason they just kind of assume like, oh, he just plays the game real good, this, that, and the third. But Zap is secretly one of the harder working people in the Smite scene. He does a lot. He's been doing videos and all this nonsense, but Zap is just constantly playing, practicing, always trying to get better. One stat that Kret always likes to bring up is Zapman has never been playing. Zapman, for as long as Zapman's been playing Smite, he's been on the best goddamn team. Totally. Every single team he's been on. You could look at the past of all the teams he's been on, Root, etc., and it's just Zap's always been on the best team. And part of that is, sure, Zapman's a fantastic player, but there's a lot that goes into making a consistent team and a consistent team history. And, you know, Cogred is a dominant beast, so we can't rightfully say that Dignitas is the best team right now, but I mean, they went 0-4 to start their season. Now they're 9-4.
Now they're second.
Like that's an insane.
Don't underestimate Dig.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen without hard work. Obviously, not just from Zapman, but you know, the core of this team: Zap, Lazes, Toli. These guys work and work and work and we see the results, and I'm happy to see the Big Yellow up close to top. It's a big deal, and they're a staple of this community. So I like to see Dignitas perform well. I'm happy they proved all of y'all wrong and me right.
Yeah, they're as the weeks have gone on, their synergy has you could definitely see it maturing more and more. So right now, I think they're at a great point. So Cognitive Red, Team Dignitas. Then we have Cognitive Prime after that, 8-6. Snipe, 8-6. Then you have Fat Chuck Symbol 3-10, and Thirst 1-12. On the opposite side of the spectrum for EU, we have, just like we talked about right there in the TSM, Exposed Secrets now 9-4, dominating right now rank 1. Team Solo Mid, who we talked about early on, was quite down on the rankings in the very beginning, has now gone ahead and turn that around and is 9-5. Mortality, who was ranked first for quite a while, has pretty much been in a rut the last few games without a doubt.
Right.
Is now 8-5. They did come out of that rut with a win the other day, so we'll see what happens there. Cloud9 is 6-7. SK Gaming 4-9, and Team Coast 4-10. Any thoughts there on any of the standings at this point for the SPL?
It's so close. Like all those scores are like so close. Like they look like they've just been trading off. Like I don't know if we're really going to be able to predict based off of this information, like who's actually going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, Exposed Secrets has been doing. They're like right now is like the wave of Exposed Secrets. They're doing phenomenal right now.
Exposed Secrets has been a team for like 20 years, and this is the first time they're actually good.
Yeah, it's like holy crap. Yeah, it'll be. These last few weeks are going to be nuts. They're really going to be. If teams can pull out some strategies and be creative and put something out there that other teams, can't go ahead and compete with, it'll keep them on top. And it's important, the top. I mean, right now, the top 5 for EU. I feel like could go, any direction for our, who's going to be those top 4 that go to our land. So,
I think right now with Europe, Team Coast is really the only guaranteed relegation match.
Agreed.
I think SK and Cloud9 could both wind up in that 5th seed.
Yeah.
Team Solo Mid maybe, but they're performing a lot better recently, so yeah. I don't know. Mortality and Exposed Secrets I really don't see being 5 or 6 ever at all. They're just too strong. Mortality on a down tilt right now. That happens, but
it's not really the best time to be on that down tilt though during this time. You know what I mean? Like let's be honest. If you look
let's just put it this way. Put it this way. They ain't 1-12 like Thirst.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing. That you know what? It's fine. Yeah. I mean, okay. For example, Team Solo Mid. When we started out in the SPL, they weren't doing so well. Okay, that's the beginning of the SPL. There's time to recover. There's time to adapt. They did it, and they're looking good now. So right now is kind of not that time because if you get too far behind, you get in trouble. So right now is the time to buckle down. We're starting to see the teams that took advantage of the bye week, and especially that TSM Invitational. So it'll be exciting. Like 2 weeks from now, oh my word. Competition's going to be nuts. So let's go ahead, turn the tides here, and I'll throw it over to F. here. What do we got going on for the Challengers Cup this week?
Challengers Cup, well, Agilitas went ahead and took the first place, as is usual in Europe. Basically, the Challenger Cup is a little bit backwards from what you guys might remember from the old weekend tournaments. Used to be Dig and Cog in the finals each and every week, and nobody could really do anything about it, and everybody would complain that North America was just too boring and nobody wanted to watch it. But this time around, Agilitas and Potato Boys fight each week in the European finals.
No one's even close.
Agilitas is just mathematically guaranteed to go to the wildcard race. They have 500 seed points. There's 2 weeks left. It's not possible to usurp them. Potato Boys will most likely be that second team. That's pretty much set in stone.
Yeah.
That's really not going anywhere.
It's so weird. Can I make an observation really quick?
Of course, bro.
So I'm looking at like EU as far as the pro leagues go. Like they're like very much like back and forth. But with the Challenger Cup, they're pretty decisive, and vice versa for NA. NA in the Challenger Cup is a little bit more back and forth and pretty decisive as far as the pro league goes. That's interesting. Sorry, I find math interesting.
No, it's fun. It's fun. It's definitely cool stuff. Over in North America, that's going from where Smitten said interesting. That is interesting. You've got Rambozos, who they're a good team. A lot of names you might recognize over on the Rambozos if you take a look at the North American stuff. Their team is the Paradox, maybe or maybe not. Meerkat, Chris Pocket, Aduro, previously the Dig Aduro, no longer affiliated. So they're players that have been in and around the game for a long, long, long time. And they're number one seeded overall at the moment. Coming up next is Vicious and Delicious. The name might be familiar to y'all. That's the original Exertus Esports. Who the hell is Exertus Esports? That's COG Prime.
Yep.
Barracuda essentially didn't exist before Vicious and Delicious, and that's all thanks to Heater, which is why you recognize the name. Heater is the one who not owns, but is a part of the Vicious and Delicious brand, and that's that team right now is Heater, and my mind is all frazzled. But Vicious and Delicious, they are a competent team. They're sitting number 2, and then third place as far as the standings go is 5 Angry Men, who haven't done that well despite being a team with Mace to the Face, the best. Pain to be on, finally allowed to play. He was barred from competition as per the rules until week 4 because he smurfed on it. Pro players can't play in the Challenger Cup. But pro player definition being SPL players. He did. Oops, rip him. Couldn't play till week 5, which he did. That was this week. He played, and they wound up winning. There was a little hoopla around their win, and no finals were played. Actually, Icemen made it to the finals, which is one of the cool things about Challengers Cup. Who the hell are Icemen?
Yeah.
Muffin Man, Blink, X Lloyd, Proofy, Just a Banana 21. You don't know these names, and that's the fun of the Challenger Cup. They couldn't play the finals because Just a Banana had to go to homecoming dance.
Oh.
That sucks.
Maybe for you that you're not going. I was rooting my man's Just a Banana on. Like, good for you. They have a great homecoming. But so they didn't play the finals, and so 5 Angry Men actually won, which is the first time they've won. Before this week, they didn't even make it out of semis, dude. And like, this is a team with Mace to the Face.
Some well-known players, without a doubt. Like SPL level players, without for sure.
Yeah, I mean, players that have played on SPL. Yeah. So, seeing the Rambozos and Asgard Gaming. Asgard Gaming is a team with a popular streamer Deegan on it. Teams really come from out of the woodwork, and North America is an exciting show. Make sure to tune in on Smite Game 2 every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's fun to watch all these players just come out and do their thing. But right now, as it stands, I think for the implications, we've got Agilitas and Potato Boys. They're going to be fighting over an SPL slot or 2, maybe. We'll see. One of them's going to be fighting Coast. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out if they make it. I think Agilitas just missed the SPL, folks. That's why they're so dominant. I think Agilitas could beat Coast. It's not going to be easy. I know we all they're the bottom of the SPL, but
they're still a pro team.
They're still an SPL team, exactly. And since Zinderen's here, it's a little bit different. And what's really fun about that, you see a little jawing going on in chat between the players.
Yep.
Zinderen is maybe not a replacement, but he has taken Ninja Vobat's place for the entire week, and honestly, done well. So there's that.
Nicely
said.
God,
did you just compliment him? Do not compliment him.
Zinderen,
it's going to go straight to his head.
Zinderen's head is like the size of the planet, but
right?
Zinderen used to play jungler for Agilitas. So that's a really fun interaction. We get to see Confrey and the boys kind of take on Zinderen. Most likely, it's not set in stone, 2 or more weeks of play. I think it's going to be Agilitas versus Team Coast, let's be real. And then Potato Boys will vie for that 5th slot overall. North America, we don't really know. Seed points, you get 100 points for first place. And right now the points are Rambozos 270, Vicious and Delicious 230, 5 a.m. 144. And from there, everybody else is 100 or less. So those top 3 spots, if 5 Angry Men win and Rambozos don't, then they won't be number 1. But Vicious and Delicious and Rambozos could both swap 1 and 2. 5 Angry Men can definitely take a number 2 slot if they perform well. And now that they have their full roster with Pain to Beyond, who knows what's going to happen? It's very interesting in North America. So.
I love the discussion going on in chat right now because someone makes a comment. The entire EU SPL is right now in chat discussing
they're all
it.
in chat. Like, what's up, nerd?
And this is very EU for those of you that
Yeah.
haven't taken part in the Challenger Cup. Challenger scene when we're on the early hours of Smite game, it's literally just every European team in
It's
the
crazy
Challenger
how
Cup.
like because
And
right
so,
now
like,
it's crazy late for them. You know, like it's later for them.
I mean, maybe if you're Octane Pro, but in the UK right now
Wow.
it's 11:30, dude.
Yes,
I know
know.
you go to bed at 9, but you know, not
I
everybody
know.
is like 80 years old.
Old man Octane.
Oh my word! I'm not even 30
my
yet. I'm not
word.
even 30.
You're the bee's
Not even
knees.
30.
Wait. Octane, are we the same age? No, we're not the same age, right?
I'll be 30 in January.
Okay, whoo, thank God.
I hate you.
Sorry.
I'll be that guy. When are you gonna be 30?
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. When are you gonna be 30? Huh? I'll be that guy.
I'll be there in like 2 years.
Oh God, you're
2.5 years.
You're young. Anyways, I think it's really exciting because I think it's really exciting. I'm eager to see what happens when we get to that wild card and see how well the Challengers Cup teams do against the lower level SPL players. You know, I'll be honest, like that's gonna be crazy. You know, everything's on the line there, so that'll be a ton of fun. Anything else left about Challengers Cup? Any last comments before we move on?
I think the biggest problem with the Challengers Cup is there's not enough Adonis. We don't get a pregame show like the SPL.
Why?
And we
Why?
don't get to see it. I
Why
don't
not?
know.
Can we
Come
just
on.
have him on the screen, like, just while we're watching the match? Like maybe
Adonis,
like,
you gotta
upper
step it up,
wrestling
bro.
center?
Just an Adonis cam. Make him wear a
Adonis
GoPro
cam.
rig where it's just
Where in the world is Adonis?
Yep.
I'd watch.
Ten out of 10. Would kidnap.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and round out our esports section here, guys. We're actually going to take a break. We don't usually take a break on the Smite Update, but we are going to take a break. We'll be back here in just a few minutes, so stay tuned, folks. We will be talking about the new God coming out, the upcoming patch, the PTS, the new matchmaking system, league requirements, all that fun stuff. So stay tuned. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
And I'm shooting signals for you, and I'm calling out a warning for you. You got me moving. You got me moving. Just trying to light up, find my way through the darkness. You better hold on, I'm coming to you. Just trying to light up, find my way through the darkness. 'Cause you got me moving. You got me moving. Just trying to light up, find my way through the darkness. You better hold on, I'm coming to you. Just trying to light up, find my way through the darkness. 'Cause you got me moving. You got me moving. 'Cause we lost all sight of the troubles. They won't weigh us down to the rubble. 'Cause you said we'll be alright. To the burn and turn of time, close my eyes to feel alive. And then I rise to the trees and to the stones. Breathe the night to let it go until you're found. We are the ghosts amongst the sound within the darkness. You are the treasure that I found beneath the ruins. 'Cause we lost all sight of the troubles. They won't weigh us down to the rubble. 'Cause you said we'll be alright. And we lost all sight of the troubles. They won't weigh us down to the rubble. 'Cause you said we'll be alright. Your eyes paint the world with colors, visions we can only see into the distance. You chase the faces in the clouds, searching for a brighter day. So far away. We are the ghosts amongst the sound within the darkness. You are the treasure that I found beneath the ruins.
All right, folks, we are back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the break there. I know we did. If you guys are interested in that music that you heard there, please go ahead and support the artist. I'll go ahead and post it in chat. Evie is the name of the artist there. And please go ahead. The link is in chat. Up-and-coming artist. If you guys have music that you'd like us to check out and play during the breaks on future shows, feel free to go ahead and email it to us, smiteupdate@gmail.com.
With permission.
Of course, with permission.
Of course.
SmiteUpdate@gmail.com is the place that you will want to go ahead and email that to, and we'd love to highlight some of those people. So we're going to jump into the next section of our show, which is talking about this new god coming out, new Guardian. We're also going to talk about the upcoming patch, and also the new matchmaking system, league requirements, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to throw it over to Smitten this time, and tell us a little bit about this new god. What do we got going on here, Smitten?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I don't like to support. It's just like, it's a very big role, and your support player, depending on, you know, their actions, can really make or break a game. Like, your game is pretty much dependent upon how well your support can support, right? Because all the other roles depend on it. Anyways, so whenever I saw that this was a healer range-based support, I was like, yo, all right, I'm gonna learn how to support. First game, I went like, gosh, it was like 3-1, like 15 or something stupid. Like, okay, all right, what do you want to get into first? His abilities are like what I think about him. Oh my god.
Let's do abilities first, and then we'll kind of talk about how he's like Geb 2.0. Go for it.
Geb 2.0, not even.
That ultimate.
Not even.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, so let's see. Looking first of all, he is a little dude on top of a giant tree, and it reminds me of Treebeard from Lord of the Rings. Like I was super.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so his passive is Nature's Protection. Basically, every fourth hit successfully landed on Sylvanus. Is Sylvanus? Sylvanus.
Sylvanus.
Sylvanus? Sylvanus. Okay, anyways, like
Sylvanus.
Sylvanus. They are rooted for 1 second after successfully hitting them 4 times with these attacks. And that happens once every 12 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 12. So, in the support role, that's actually really, really powerful. Actually, maybe not so much, considering you want to be hitting the AD carry more. You don't want to make sure that you poke them down, but
yeah.
it's a force to reckon with in lane. Okay, his number 1. If you ever played a druid on World of Warcraft, if you can recall, like the wild mushroom, like the deployables.
That's exactly what this reminded me of too.
It is that's exactly what his number 1 is. Essentially, you can do 2 things with it. You can use it as an offensive weapon, and you can deploy it at your enemy's feet. It explodes, does scaling magical damage, and then they're rooted for 2 seconds. And then the more defensive, like I'm just gonna leave this in lane and run around and do mid camps and like help out mid lane and stuff like that. It blooms after 10 seconds and then increases the MP5 to nearby allies. So like if he is rotating over to get you your blue in lane, like as an AD carry, it's beautiful to just kind of go back to the tower where that thing should be and just hang out for a few seconds, then go right back out and start boxing again.
Yeah. It's a nice little like middle ground between like utility and like guardian, like that role, which I really, really like adding this in to that kit that a guardian has. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Let's see here. It also you can destroy it, but destroying it actually gives you protections. Like reduces your protections to actually kill. He gets 3 of those, I believe. Oh my goodness, 1 for every lane. Okay, now his most overpowered absolute move in his entire kit is his 2. It's called wisps, and like all these like little wispy things come out of the tree, and it does damage to enemy minions, enemy gods, heals yourself, your teammates, and your minions. Like it is.
Anything it doesn't do?
No. Actually, as a matter of fact, it has everything in Smite. All can one ability.
Ridiculous.
Like, it's ridiculous. I would probably expect a nerf there. I don't want it to be nerfed too hard because that's like one of the beautiful things about playing this god is his 2.
Yeah.
Okay. His 3 reminds me of the pull that a Death Knight has in World of Warcraft. I keep trying to relate things back because like I was so excited to see it. I was like, oh my god, it's a DK pull. So every like 25 seconds, I believe. Is it back? Oh my gosh, they scaled the cooldowns on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that's not even
right.
She's so crazy about it. I love it.
Yo, that is not even right. Like, if you get CDR boots, oh my gosh, your cooldowns on that pull, which is an incredible initiator, is ridiculous.
No damage.
No damage, though. No damage, but the cooldown at max rank is 18 seconds without cooldown boots. Like, ugh. Okay, and of course, his ultimate is an AoE attack, and it just basically it does damage and knocks up enemies into the air. So it's great for initiating. Blink is absolutely necessary on this new god. He is kind of like Geb in the sense where the
knock
cataclysm. Yeah, it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't have exactly like where Geb actually takes a portion of health there. This is just a straight up damage associated with it. But it very much goes hand in hand with like with Geb a lot of the times you pick up on blink, and so you blink in and then ult with Geb. It's the same concept here. So let's do overall thoughts. Overall thoughts on where this Guardian fits in with other Guardians currently. F. What are your thoughts?
Unpopular opinion alert.
Uh-oh.
Sylvanus is really cool. Hats off to KP, again, innovating with the god. KP, of course, Kevin is the one that designed this god. Designer of Rom. Rom was the first god he designed. Kabrakan was second. This is third.
He's on a roll right now.
One of the things that Kevin does is really pushes and innovates. And with Kabrakan, maybe didn't exactly hit the nail on the head. I think the idea was all there, but the execution wasn't. Rom, love it.
Yeah.
Think it's dope. One of the
Excellent.
cooler gods to come out. And Sylvanus is somewhere in between, where Sylvanus is very cool, very exciting, new. I love the basic attacks. I love the
Yeah,
the
basic
idea of a
attacks cool.
straight control god. I think is really cool. I don't know how good he'll be. There's no damage on him.
Yeah.
Scaling is weak. Scaling is lackluster.
He has a lot of utility though, where he doesn't have damage. You have
Exactly.
To, that's
and
the thing.
I love that. I love a utility-based character with lackluster damage. I actually really like that idea.
This is like Aphrodite without the actual damage perspective. It's just all utility. Like is what I'm seeing out of this guy.
Aphrodite is one of the hardest.
I know. That's what I'm
games,
saying.
but-
Without it, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the problem is he's just gankable. Really gankable. I think that Sylvanus will have a hard time being played in the pro scene because Thor exists. Sylvanus has no escape. Sylvanus has no movement speed. Sylvanus can initiate with a pull and a great like cataclysm like event in his ultimate, but if Zero Gars is playing against you, he's just gonna Thor ult you over and over and over and over again, and it's going to be really obnoxious. So I'm not sure how well he'll fare in competitive play just yet. We'll have to see how well he can actually stay alive.
yeah.
But Kit is interesting. Kit is fun. Kit is cool to look at.
Bro,
So
Smitten
we'll have to see how that goes.
is holding her tongue there, and I'll hold it for a few minutes more. I agree with you. Like when you're talking about mobility there, like now granted I have not played the PTS guys, so I haven't actually played them yet. Smitten can lend a little more to that. To me, I think I have to agree with F-Dot when it comes down to mobility. Like the mobility is not there, whereas some of our other Guardians do have that available for them. As he kind of talked about with Thor kind of shutting him down per se. But I like this utility. We haven't really seen a god that is so much utility like this god is. And with the current like Guardian meta right now, will it stick is my question. Will it stick? Is it going to come and then go after a week or two when it is playable in the competitive scene? Like, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to be played. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like it brings a lot to the team fights. But then like talking about like a laning phase and stuff like that, I don't know. Now I'll ask Smitten. You know, Smitten, you played the PTS. You've seen this god being played against. Maybe you've played him. Give us a more accurate description of what you've seen so far.
Okay, first of all, he's not supposed to do damage. It's not the point of Sylvanus.
Yeah.
The point of Sylvanus is definitely sustain and controlling situations. Like, oh my goodness. Okay. Whenever I was on the PTS, I saw him being played as the Guardian, of course, and his lane presence is real. Like he just like walks up, helps clear the wave. Like that makes like the fact that he's in the game is allowing gods like Shivalanki, gods like Cupid, gods who like 80 carries who are underperforming to actually be more efficient in the lane because of the assisted sustain and damage to the minion wave. It's ridiculous. I played Artemis for the first time in months, like since her volley nerf, and she performed very, very well. But yeah, like I saw him played in mid lane and he wrecked me. I was Kukulkan.
How's his auto attack? Like how does that how does that fare in a laning phase?
It's really cool because you get to like poke from afar. But other than that, like it does like a very, very little amount of damage, just like it's supposed to. But I think it doesn't hit like everything's in AOE.
It's like a splash type of damage, I believe, or something of that sort.
It's minuscule, of course, but
Yeah.
like it's really interesting.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Do we see any limitations here? F-Dot talks a little bit about damage. You're kind of saying, meh, you know, he can hold his own. What type of limitations do you see in a team fight with him that you've experienced?
Okay, the only real limitation that I experienced so far on the PGS was just his mobility, but that can be solved with like things like Blink or something like that. He's not so much about getting somewhere quick and setting something up. It's like he comes in, everybody comes up behind him, and he initiates with the Blink. So
Okay.
he's really, really good at saving. like saving situations. Because I can't tell you how many times I blinked in, hit my 2, healed up my entire team, used my ultimate, and then we got like a deicide. Like he's kind of an after the fact support and not so much an initiation, unless you're in lane using his pull.
That's interesting. So, like, even though he has some Geb attributes that we talked about with his ultimate, you know, with Geb, you're blinking in, and a lot of it, sometimes you're the initiate there with that knock up there, taking away some of that health. Whereas with this god, it's a little different. It's almost like, hey, the fight has started. Now we need a little extra utility and support. We need that health to come in. We need that CC available real quick with that ultimate, and this is where he's coming into play. So that's pretty exciting. Do you see any adjustments, like, right off the back, playing against him? Like, hey, there's going to be an adjustment here because this is just too dang good. On his 2?
On his
okay.
2. On his heal, that is definitely, I feel like, is going to get us taken a second look at because it's too good. It's really, really good. So I hope they don't do what they did with Covercon, where he was kind of overpowered on the PTS, and then they just nerfed him into like ambiguousness. You know what I mean? And I hope that's not what they do to this one because this guy has some real potential.
I mean, one of the main, you know, Kabrakan's problem is deeper than numbers. Kabrakan's problem is the fact that he incurs DR on every single one of his abilities, which means you don't really want to use it. I mean, I know it's higher level conversation.
Yeah.
The DR is really haphazard when it comes to Kabrakan, and I think we're going to see something similar with the mobility and the susceptibility to ganks with Kabrakan. He is a solo lane mentality. Like you said, he's not all about the initiation, he's about the support, which is really cool, and I like the thought experiment of moving the roles around, because then you're forced into an Athena jungle or you're forced into a Chalk solo, somebody that can really hard initiate like that. So I think it's an interesting experiment. We'll have to see how it works out played live, of course, once it hits ranked. Hopefully, and this is actually, hopefully the new god hits ranked before he hits he won't hit the SPL. It's going to be week 8 that he's available, and week 8 doesn't exist. But in the future,
like the land events and stuff,
before they hit the competitive scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's an F. guarantee.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, you know, allow Smitten, why don't you take it over here, go over some of the skins we have going on, and some of the additional changes we have with the patch.
Pajama Party Kumba is actually adorable. It's actually adorable. I have pajama party streams where like me and like all my viewers, we show up in our pajamas with like coffee and stuff and we play Smite. Like I love it. I love now that like I can play a god. I'm not gonna play Kumba. I'm sorry. I'm not a support player. Okay, I would maybe probably consider it because of the skin. Dark Matter Hebo or Infinity Wave Hebo is sweet. Like my favorite color is purple, and that's just all of everything that Hebo is in that skin. It's incredible.
Yeah, it does. Okay, it looks pretty. It looks pretty sweet. It looks pretty sweet. I'll agree with you. I'll probably pick it up. You know, it is. It's a little different. It's a little different. So I like it. I like how like the yellow river is like black. So it's pretty cool. Pretty exciting. What else we got going on?
Sugar and Spice Hell, or better known as her recolor. It's kind of pretty. I know, it's just like, yay, we finally got another hell skin, but it's not like a gem skin like I want. Like, I want a Fire and Ice hell.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Y'all gotta think about it. All right, so the amount of work that goes into making a skin is a lot. It's a lot of work that goes into making a skin. For hell, you gotta do it twice. That sucks.
And everything, too.
True.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's, you know, I'm not making excuses for the artists, although I do love the artists in Hi-Rez. It's a lot of work, so there's that.
Yeah, I'm just jumping back a little bit. You talked a little bit about Kabrakan, and there's actually some adjustments that we'll mention as we move forward here that I'm eager to discuss a little bit more about, because I kind of agree with F. Like, it's not really, I don't know if buffs are going to help him out. But we'll get into that as we move on. We don't have to go over everything in the patch, guys. You can check them out on forums.hirezstudios.com. The patch notes are available there. But we'll kind of go over some of the bigger stuff here. What else we got, Smitten?
Let's see here. We've got a bunch of new voice packs. We got a bunch of new updated voice packs, so the missing VGS lines are back. But probably what I'm like the next thing I think we should really talk about is the matchmaking.
So what do we got going on? Tell us more.
I don't know. It's completely different. I know everybody in the community has been nagging, at least since I've been here, and that's almost 2 years, about the matchmaking. They're like, oh my god, matchmaking sucks. Like, I'm level 2 and I'm getting put in with these, like, pro league players.
Yeah.
You know, like, fix it. Well, here we go. You get what you ask for. There's non-timed queues. It's really complex, and I only experienced it a little bit on the PTS.
Okay.
But I didn't notice any real quality difference in any of my games.
And that might be because of the population, too. I mean, the PTS is even more limited than what we actually have. So, a disclaimer here, guys. The new matchmaking system will not be available when the patch day goes live. So, when the patch goes live, don't be like, I'm not seeing any difference, because you won't be. They haven't quite said, but they're testing it out. Non-time queues we've been talking about for quite a while, and we actually first heard about it when Hi-Rez Chris was on and said, give you a heads up. In the next few weeks, we're going to have non-time queues, and a lot of people were up in the air about it. And so pretty much the statement that Hi-Rez is saying is time queues created a number of issues with matchmaking, as each player was guaranteed a match even if there was not a good one for them. And this is pretty much what everybody complained about, was that, you know, I got stuck with so-and-so, or this high-level player was playing with this low-level player, and this is pretty much saying, Hi-Rez is saying, hey, we understand that's a flaw of time queues. We're going to start using non-time queues. And it pretty much says that with non-time queues, easy-to-match players will get matches very quickly. And unusual players or difficult teams will wait a bit longer until a better match can be made for them. So Hi-Rez has heard our QQ, or crying, or complaining, and they're going to make that change. But, you know, you may wait longer to get a better match. And it's interesting because when we had Wolfie on here, we had actually mentioned with Wolfie and said, I hate you. And he had said, he was like, I'll wait 45 minutes for a good match. Like, you know, he's like, I don't care. I'd rather wait 45 minutes than waste my time with a match where we're like F6ing at the 10-minute mark or whatever, because it's just so, night and day. So he says players in queue longer have priority too. Difficult to match players will gradually widen their search parameters so that no one waits too long. This is something that will have to be adjusted and tested. So
I think I waited for 3 minutes for a conquest match.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
It's not bad at all.
What's the normal time now?
It's like 1 minute 30.
Yeah, for casual,
A little bit, yeah, for casuals.
It's not bad at all.
So I like this idea in all of it. I don't like the last bullet point. Please note, players can no longer cancel or ignore the match invite once it's sent. If you do so, it's considered you get deserter debuff.
Yeah.
So
I understand it though. I understand why.
I don't understand it. Get out of here.
Nope.
Get out of here.
Shut up, Smitten. I knew
New York's coming out. All right, it's about to get real. It's about to go.
I'll tell you why.
Here we
But go ahead. Give me your excuses.
All right. So I queue up, and I'm like, all right, I got no idea how long it's going to take. I'm hungry. I want to get a sandwich that I talked about an hour ago, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that sandwich. I go downstairs. I put some mayo on a piece of bread, put some meat in between, put some cheese. Come upstairs. I got deserter. That sucks. Rip me.
You can no longer do that.
Before you combat,
Okay.
there are games out there. Somebody brought up Counter-Strike Go earlier. That's how that works. Matchmaking counts up. It doesn't count down. Your match is found. It tells you there's 9 out of 10 players. 10th dude didn't accept. Rip you. 9 people are now in that game. Somebody will be put into it, and it's all hunky-dory. So I don't know. I mean, listen. There's back-end stuff. There's
That's what I was going to say. A lot of this new system, I think, is based off of it starts to match you up as soon as you join the queue.
But it exists elsewhere, so I don't know what humps we have to get over to do that. I'm not a tech dude. I just talk about esports. That's what I do. I yell at my computer a lot. So I'm not the guy to talk about that stuff. Maybe we'll get Chris on here once this is implemented. I think that would be a fantastic conversation to have. But I don't like that idea that I can queue up, go get a drink, come back, and rip me for 30 minutes.
I think the big one there you're gonna see it is especially with like ranked, where you're used to waiting like 7 minutes or something like that, where like you could be like, okay, I'm gonna queue, come back, use the bathroom, get a drink, to have a cigarette, come back, and then okay, we're good to go. Well, they haven't necessarily said like what it's all going to affect. I assume it's affecting all queues, and this could be quite interesting to say the least. And I know a lot of. I understand your side. I also understand the side of the system, so hopefully it'll be adjusted here and there. What about the team weighing portion? Why don't we go over that and the player similarity? What do give it to us, Smitten? What do we got?
These now weighted based are now weighted based advantages they may have from coordination. So, rip my 5-man team. This is essentially what that is.
Yep.
They're looking at things a little bit differently. New matchmaker looks back on millions of examples of matches to better weigh various combinations of MMR for teams. Basically, what that means is that, like, if you have coordination, if you are on voice comms, it's going to try to match you up with other teams that are most likely going to also have voice comms. So it's a little bit more fair. Because I can't tell you, like, maybe 1 out of every, like, 4 or 5 games that I do on pre-mades, we're up against, like, brand new players, and they're like, hey, let's 5-man queue. And then you have to teach them what 5-man queue is, and it's awful, and I actually feel bad for it sometimes, but yeah.
Well, let me note, it doesn't necessarily say comms in there at all. Like, it doesn't keep that in.
It says coordination.
Coordination, but it doesn't say comms, so I don't think it's going to coordinate. The only way it could.
It's not gonna scan your computer.
No. What I mean, she means curse. She means curse, correct?
Yeah.
And I don't know that they're even going to be able to associate, like, be able to determine that. If they can, I think that's great. That's one more way in order to make it a better matchmaking system and to weigh that in. I don't know if it's going to be able to do that. That'd be a question for, like, Chris, for example. In order to say, is this something that you're considering, weighing in that the communications at all. But yeah, there's also player similarity as well. The matchmaking now takes into account player similarity in addition to MMR. Trying to match players with similar Smite experience. So I'm eager to see, they actually underline in addition to MMR, so it's both there. Our original system did some hard blocks around player levels, especially the lower levels, but this new system looks beyond that at how much a player has played in each game type. So I think that's interesting. You could be dominating in Conquest, and play Conquest all the time, and then join like Arena or Assault and have a very small percentage of games in that, and then have somebody, like this guy over here, F. It keeps that into account. So I think this is a huge overhaul. Like, somebody in chat said, are they going to reset, ELO? I feel like they have to be honest with you, because it's a whole new system, especially when you're taking into account MMR now, because it'll be affected by it. So I'm going to say they will, but nothing has been put out by Hi-Rez yet.
We'll have to see. We'll just have to see. Like, this is, like, what you guys should be expecting is just, like, don't expect perfection the day it comes out. Like,
no.
we gotta implement it, and then we gotta see what kind of problems arise from the system, and then try to hammer out all the kinks from there. Like, don't just calm.
I want perfect now. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's right.
So we also have some changes coming to us for the league qualifying. F. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about that? Now we're going to have some pretty big changes coming to league. A lot of people have complained about how people hit 30 and then jump into ranked, and all of a sudden it's a disaster. So what's our deal with league? What do we got going on?
Let's see. I'm actually reading this for the first time.
That's okay.
I don't pay any mind to league or anything like that. But let's give it a go. All new players are starting in qualifying must complete 10 matches to be placed in a division and tier.
Thank God.
All existing league players with less than 10 matches and in Bronze 5 will be placed into qualifying. So if you have like 4 games played and you're in Bronze 5, you will be back to the qualifying. So that should hopefully put you in the right spot.
Yeah.
Placement out of qualifying happens on completing the 10th match, regardless of win or loss. Under our new matchmaking system, qualified players are favored to be matched together. However, this will not always be the case. So you should be matched up with people that are also in this 10-game sort of purgatory where you have to figure out how good you are, or the game has to figure out how good you are. qualifying system does not try to pinpoint the exact placement of players, but rather to move them into an appropriate starting position for climbing divisions, which I think is of the utmost importance. What happens is the main takeaway from this is that right now, as it stands, if you play in your first couple of games as well as a gold player will, you'll be put in gold, whether or not that's actually where you belong, because you weren't playing against gold players in your original games, whatever, what have you. So what happens is, it's going to undershoot, essentially. Let's say you play, you play fantastically, you're a diamond level player right here. It's going to throw you down in like silver or gold, totally, shotgunning this right now, but it's going to undercut you, so that you sit there and you can experience the climb of the ladder, which honestly is A, the experience that you really want to achieve in League, and B, it will prevent you from really being on a team that you just don't belong on. I mean, if I play League, I probably belong in that like gold division, and if I were to join, okay, so the goal of correct matchmaking is to have you win 50% of your games. If you're winning 50% of your games, you're at the right spot. That means you're not overall winning, you're not overall losing. If you play League and you automatically start that 50%, you don't really get that like RPG storyline where like, I trudged to the bottom of Bronze 5. I've got
very
this
true.
legacy behind me. You don't get that. You're like, sweet, now I'm here and I lose half the time. That's fun. But you get to watch yourself go, and twofold. Not only does it give you that storyline, and it's fun like that, but also it gives you this it gives you the feeling that you have earned your right to be at the place that you have a 50% win rate, as opposed to just like, sweet, I'm here and I lose half my games. Homie, that's what's supposed to happen. You just don't feel like that because you haven't grinded to get there. So it's sort of like a front end where it shows the player like this is what's up, and it's sort of a back end where it will prevent you from being too high.
I think Hi-Rez is going to come under a lot of fire with the qualifying aspect, where it says like you'll be playing with other people that are qualifying. Now, granted, it does say in here, however, this is not always will be the case. This capability will improve over the next several patches. They already say in here. So thank you for your patience. I guarantee, regardless of this being in here, people are still going to come under fire where they're going to be like, I'm in gold and I'm playing with people that are qualifying, like type of deal. And I think, they're going to try to pinpoint that down. It comes down to population, I would think, as well. But they're also saying it. I am hoping that we're not. I'm hoping that this has corrected the issue where we'll have somebody in diamond or whatever playing with somebody in bronze. I think this is correcting that entirely. I'm hoping so. I'm just hoping that Hi-Rez is under fire like day 3 or 4, where people are like still getting people masters in bronze or masters in qualifying, I guess, is under bronze now.
I feel so bad.
The queues will be different. Sorry, Smith.
I just feel bad for the people at Hi-Rez that are about to, listen to all these whiny complaints about the system that they're still trying to fix. I don't know. A lot of respect for those people at Hi-Rez dealing with the stuff they gotta deal with.
I got no respect.
Oh, we know.
I'm just kidding.
You're from New York. It's all right.
I'm sorry, we can't all be part of a flyover state, Miss Smitten. What state are you in again? I forget.
Oklahoma.
Is that actually a part of America?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm right down in the middle, honey. I'm right in the middle of America.
That's why nobody knows.
That's right. Fly over. So, any last comments here on the new league system that will be coming out here shortly?
Nope.
Okay. We'll go on here. We talked a little bit about, some general gameplay stuff that's coming out. A lot of fixes, guys. I'm not going to go over all those there. But we are going to talk a little bit, we talked a little bit before about pausing. There will be some combat pausing is pretty much going to be a no-go anymore. So that's going to be a big change. Won't be a thing. Let's talk about the items a little bit.
Yes, let's finally talk about the items.
Yay!
So, F-Dot, what do you got for the items? Because you are most excited about them.
All right, so first of all, whoever is out Hi-Rez and naming these items, can you please, why do you hate casters so much? Seriously, why do you hate casters so much? Me and Kret looked this up. It's Ichival. I have heard already 5 different pronunciations from people that are supposed to know how to say. Maybe what we looked up was completely wrong. Ichival is one of the new items coming out of the Tree of Hunterbow. It's attack speed. It's going to be extremely good. Extremely good. It's cheap. It's very inexpensive. Every successful basic... It's 30% attack speed, which fits right along there with your old Executioner. Oba. But
I'm just saying random items and Smite. I'm trying to hurry up.
and you're succeeding, you little. Go back to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
okay?
I've done my job.
Each successful basic attack increases your physical power by 10, reduces the target's physical power by 10 for 3 seconds. Hey, on her! Hey, on her! You know that passive you're not using anymore? Can I get that? Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they did. Numbers are a lot higher, but that's basically on her's old passive, steal your physical power. It's what Nemesis does right now. It's really, really damn strong. I expect to see this built. I expect to see this as a part of the Hunter build. I don't know how creative we'll get. There's a build out there that me and Kret worked on that is absolutely disgusting. We're going to see if the community can figure it out first. So I'm not telling you that just yet.
Look at you.
But,
Look at you.
The Ichival is a strong item. How do you guys feel about this? Because I expect this to be built.
My first thought on it is the cost. Is it accurate to the value of it? 1,650. Your laugh is terrifying.
Well,
That's where-
it's ridiculously cheap for the amount of physical power that it gives you, plus attack
Yep.
speed. It's kind of gross.
That's where kind of my concern is looking at that. Like, it's like, okay, the value of this item, this is one of those items where I see very easily, high 2000s. So that's why I'm kind of surprised, like 2850 or something like that. So I don't know, 1650, where I'm just like, really? Like, and with that type of price, you're talking about, is this something that can be picked up earlier on then? Maybe, let's see,
In place of Executioner.
probably fourth, maybe? I don't know if it'll ever rotate in before that. Look at F-Dot laughing. You gonna share with the group, bro? You gonna share with the group? No? All right.
Nope. There's a lot of creativity to have with this item. Crit is a very big part of the Hunter build right now. I think it generally will be. We can hear you clicking like crazy for no reason. Thanks to you, Smitten. And yeah, I mean, it'll actually. Oh wow, you look like an anime character. That's kind of frightening.
So what do you got? So what else with the items? What else we got going on with our items? Something to pay
Heavy
attention to.
hammer!
Heavy hammer!
Thank you! Thank you! I gotta give this one to Brandon. Brandon has been preaching this exact cost for like 6 weeks. 1100 is a
He just
starter
feels
item.
bad.
It's just stupid. 1350, it's nice.
He feels bad for breaking this entire game for like the past how many weeks?
Heavy hammer's been
So
so
tired.
good.
Heavy hammer everything. It makes anybody viable. It's gross, and I'm really glad that it's getting the price increase.
It's about time. Somebody in chat says rip heavy hammer. I think so as well. I think we might 1350 is still a nice price point to get after depend on certain
Later
characters,
on.
the power curve is interesting. 1350 is still nice. It still might be a better choice than finishing the Frostbound Hammer. I think we might see more of the High Rock approach, where High Rock likes to buy tier 2 items and weird starter items in the middle of his build, and casters chastise it because they don't actually do the math. But I think that we might see it built like 3rd or 4th item. I know Wolfie likes to build it after Chins on Osiris. We see Aaron doing that a little bit. So I think we still might see it purchased in that respect, which I'm actually really, really, really okay with. I like that utility. I like that difference. But please do not let Arachne start with that. Please do not give Bakasura that at 5 seconds into the game. That's just silly.
So I think we're all happy about the heavy hammer, to be honest. The cost changed, 1350. We'll have to see how that works out. Moving on from there, we have God and balance changes. Kind of what we talked about and predicted. Arachne, nothing really going on there. Not surprising, as we talked about before. Exactly. Hi-Rez definitely wants to get more stats, get more data. We said sometimes right around a month or so after the guide is released, after that remodel, we start to see some changes. Cabrakan, we have a lot of changes to. And this kind of goes off of what F-Dot had said. Like, we don't know if this is going to change anything for him. Some people may argue differently.
Wait. I did not say that. I think the 70% increase to his next basic attack is going to change almost everything.
It's good, but do you think all of a sudden we're going to see him top 3 pick in Guardians all of a sudden?
Not top pick.
Okay. I'm not saying that this is supposed to do that.
But he's going from unviable to viable immediately.
Okay. So we have Cabrakan now increases his attack speed by 70% for his next basic attack during this ability. This is the Seismic Crush there. We also have for his Refraction Shield increased stun duration from 1. Now it scales there.
Scaling.
1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, and 1 5. So now we're gonna start to see a stun that isn't quite there as the Takuma Karna with the stun that is available to us, but still pretty decent. I mean,
1.5 seconds is a
pretty
long
good.
time in Smite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is a really long time in Smite.
it's a decent stun. I completely glossed over that and looked at the recovery time. Recovery frames is recovery time, recovery frames. There's some. It's again, it's a deeper level of conversation, but this changes Cabrakan a lot. One of Cabrakan's main issues is the fact that every single one of his damn abilities incurs DR with the exception of his ultimate, and that's a different conversation, and maybe we will attack that, maybe we won't. Who knows how the character will be changed in the future. But one of the bigger problems with Cabrakan is that his basic attack speed is so slow, so that his first ability, when he goes to actually go... now that's fixed. And the Refraction Shield,
you are
you
accurate.
kind of just stand there for a while.
Slower than the Janus ult.
Exactly.
Oh my word.
So what the recovery time actually is, 0.8 to 0.2, what this number means, folks, is it's literally the time it takes to recover from using your ability. So you used to hang out for almost a full second after using Refraction Shield. Now it's almost instantaneous. So you can do a lot of creative things with your other abilities, etc. You can move out of the way, etc., etc., etc. It opens up the door to different ways Cabrakan can be played. And as I said, DR is his larger issue, and there's that. But beyond that, Refraction Shield, this should change a lot of the stuff. Tectonic Shift also gets a change to recovery time. This is very, very important to the intricacies of the character, and we may see more of it. Don't be afraid. Don't be surprised if you see Cabrakan solo.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested. Like I could see someone like Zelia going ahead and making this work. He's one of those individuals that can make something. One of those players. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that works out. What else we got? Smith, what other gods should we highlight here that are having changes?
Mercury!
Oh my word! Thank God. It took long enough, right?
Right? Only like seven months that we've been dealing with Heavy Hammer Mercury as support.
So what do we got going on?
His Meiji look, that lovely attack that everybody loves from afar, where it's a tiny itty bitty thing, but he hits a lot of people. The radius has been increased per rank, reduced from 17.5 at max to 13.5,
Wow.
and the actual range is, so it's smaller and like closer. Is essentially he has to put himself in a little bit more of a dangerous situation in order to use the ability effectively.
I have no argument with this at all. Do you think after this is where Mercury's issue was?
I actually wanted to hit Mercury a little bit harder. I thought that some of the on-hit effects, and I actually felt that Mage Look shouldn't crit. That said, I talked to Zapman a little bit, and he said that all Mercury needs is to reduce the radius of Mage Look, because that's what allows him to lane viably. Without Mage Look being able to hit the entire wave, this is very mathy, range reduced 58.5 to 48. What the hell does this mean? Radius increased per rank 7.5. What do all these numbers mean? Basically, you boil it down, he can't clear a wave with Mage Look even at rank 5, which, as I said, I wanted to hit this a little hard. I want to, in my perfect world, Mage Look wouldn't crit, and we would calm down with that passive, because getting hit for 900 with a single basic non-crit is actually kind of silly. But with this change, like I said, Zapman is the pro. I'm certainly not. And he said that this is all the character needs. I trust him, and I'm excited to see where Mercury lies, because one of my big beasts with Mercury is that he can do everything. Which is originally, do you remember the warrior tiers? The warrior tiers that Bart was drinking a couple of patches ago.
Yep.
Those of you newer to the scene, warriors all got massively nerfed. We're talking tier used to be a top pick, top ban. All these warriors got changed because they can do a lot of different roles, many different ways. And Mercury, main beef with Mercury is that he jungles, he solos, he hunters, he supports, and it hasn't been done, but he can actually middle. So that's problematic. I don't think that's problematic in and of itself. I like the idea that characters can be multi-positional, but at the end of the day, being top pick in all of these spots is a little iffy.
Yeah, I'm really happy about this. I I want to. This sounds like, from what F. is talking about, especially with the radius there and the lane clear, that we may see Mercury fall out of solo lane domination, where we've seen him more recently do well. But what do you think, F. Hopefully, okay, because.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Mercury is still going to be able to jungle, which I think is, like, obviously
Sure.
I want Mercury to be viable, and Mercury's an interesting character. He's fun to watch a little bit, kind of, I guess. Not really, but whatever. Mercury in the jungle, I have no beef with. Mercury in the hunter role, I have no beef with. I mean, when
Someone
I
else
play against
does.
it, I have beef.
It's
but-
because you don't play AD carry, obviously. I hate when I see my AD carry.
When I play against it, it sucks. But, like, I think that's really important for there to be things that suck to play against in Smite. I think it's important to get frustrated. When I see a Bakasura, it frustrates the hell out of me. I think he's a fantastically balanced god. But I just don't like homies just left clicking me to death.
Yeah.
Shouts to Mercury. So I think it's all right that he plays a couple of different positions. Solo, even, I'm okay with it. But I think we'll see a little bit less dominance. Golden Bow will be required. It's already purchased, but we might, like, he still might be there, but he won't be able to completely dominate the lane like he does right now.
Yeah, he's definitely. I don't see him really falling out of favor. Like, even though the range and the size has been reduced on his main dealer, like, I don't think that that's going to make him any less viable, so to speak.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, I'm eager to see what happens there. So that's Mercury. I think we're all, that's one of the bigger god changes that we're excited about for this upcoming patch going on. We're trying to see who else. If we had anything else here. Let's see.
Big change to Odin. Again, one of the more intrinsic changes that people might know is certain effects would not deal damage if you are CC'd the second you hit the ground.
Okay.
Whether that's knockups, stuns, etc. And this is a very, like I said, it's an intrinsic, it's a deeper, it's a very deep mechanic. Essentially, Odin's not the only one, but Bird Bomb, Raven Shout, and Lunge, you jump on them. If you stun an Odin exactly at the time of landing, it won't detonate, it won't deal damage. I'm Campty and Brandon on this. This is a high-level mechanic. It is the only counterplay to it outside of juking, of course, which that's a different conversation. This has been in the game for a long time. One of those working as intended, not a bug but a feature type deals. And I embrace it. I am not that mechanically sound to always pull it off, and I think that's really, really cool. I think it's really cool that me, as a middle-of-the-road player, I'm being generous, can't pull off all the stuff that people that are paid to play the game can do. I think that's really important. So here, with this change, like I said, it's been in the game for a long time. This time around, they decided to actually reverse it. They're not going to go ahead and embrace this. I like that counterplay. I like that ability to have that mechanic. I understand why they took it off. It's not exactly pretty. It reminds me of, like, an unintentional, like, sort of like wave dashing in Smash, or something that's unintentional but wound up being a part of the game anyway. I like it. Wish it would stay. It's gone. I understand it, but I miss it. I think it's cool.
Yep.
Okay, we also have Sobek has some changes done here with his his passive here. This ability now builds stacks on successful hits from basic attacks and abilities. Abilities will only grant one stack even if multiple targets are hit. So some little adjustments there for Sobek with his yeah. And I think that kind of rounds out this patch. Any overall comments? You like the patch changes coming out? Gods, items?
I can't wait.
I think.
I can't.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Like, I can't wait for Sylvanus. I'm sorry. I can't, like, I love healers. Like, that's my favorite thing in the world in video games is playing a healer. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
There's a data mining post on Reddit that was disgusting.
Muted.
I have to. My dog is ridiculous in the background.
There's nothing wrong with a barking dog.
Yeah, there is.
Dogs.
There's a bark. Anyways, so there was a post on Reddit a data mining post, and I don't know how accurate this is or whatever. I just saw it on Reddit that they were bringing back, that somebody had found in the mining Alquang coming back with a new mechanic of EP5, like energy per 5 seconds, adding a new mechanic into the game. Let me see if I can find it real quick, to be honest with you, because I was interested to get Smitten's thoughts on this god here. Let's see here.
I think you're still muted, dude.
I'm not
You're
muted.
so bad at this.
I'm not muted. Promise. Promise. Let's see. Where was it? It was this week.
Or we legit just got trolled.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
I'm
Octane
good.
does this all the time. This, you know, this
No.
is one of his things. He just needs himself.
You're so
So.
funny. All right, let me see here. I want to see if I can find it for this week that came up. If somebody else has it, let me know. I want to see if I can find it.
You're like still straight muted, dude.
Dude, I'm not muted. I promise you. I see the bar going up and down. We are not muted. It's troll. It's troll. It's troll.
So I was right. Damn, I'm
Oh yeah.
dead.
Oh yeah. It's Smite game chat. Come on
Octane,
now.
you saying anything?
I hate you.
We don't get Octane videos, so Smitten, can you hear him?
That's right.
Wait, what? Wait, there's a third person here?
Yeah, Octane's been trying to talk for a while.
Oh, well, that's adorable.
All right, I can't find it. I don't know where it's at. It was somewhere on Reddit that had it.
We cracked him.
So basically, we're
Brett.
sitting here talking about the there you go. FG went ahead and
Thank you, FG. Thank you.
FG.
Perfect. So take a look at
FG
this.
the guy.
Take a look at this. I don't know how legit this is, but
I
you
think
know,
we killed the sun.
the Smite data mining guys are pretty good. You know, they've been pretty legitimate in the past. This page is taking forever to load now.
Right? Me too.
We just killed
We
the
broke
site.
it.
Server's hosted on this guy's home server. So there it is right there. So take a look. Take a look at that passive right there.
Interesting. Energy per 5 level out of combat. Your short energy replenishes by
No.
5% second out of combat. So he's got a rogue.
Yeah,
He's
he's.
got a rogue.
No,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this. Like, man, now we're gonna get rage bars too. Like, oh, it's gonna be so good.
Well, I mean, all right. So it's interesting. Energy is a passive bar. It doesn't replace your mana bar. It looks
Yeah.
like. Of course, this is all data mining. I don't know. I never look at this crap, dude. You never.
We
know
don't, but
what's
they've
up.
been. You have to say, the data miners have been pretty good so far. Like,
I mean,
within
I
this Smite
honestly
scene.
don't look at it, so I couldn't even tell you if they've been good or bad. But I mean, I barely take a look at the PTS. I'm horrible in that regard. But I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I like complex mechanics, and this looks complex.
yeah, yeah. This is pretty cool though. I'm just trying to imagine.
A mighty sword.
A mighty sword. Oh.
You have to.
I said it. Bum.
You love it. That was good.
Ladies and gentlemen, F dot.
Woo!
I'll be here all week.
That's right.
Literally 10 people.
All right. So, anything else you guys want to go over for today before we go ahead and round out the show? What else you got? Anything else?
I just want to give a shout out to Adonis.
Oh my word! Don't do it.
Adonis is the best.
Praise be unto him.
Praise Adonis. Adonis is,
Praise
is
Adonis.
the best. On a serious note, with that whole Adonis love, I really love where the pregame shows come. I think Kelly and Adonis are absolutely.
It has improved really well, like a ton.
Kelly has really come into herself and completely nails it. And so, shout outs to Hi-Rez Kelly and Adonis. Just keep being Adonis.
Yeah, Kelly has actually surprised me with some of the stats she pulls out and like her knowledge of the
She's
game
so
and
good.
stuff like that. Like that's.
Why are you surprised?
Yeah, Kelly plays this game.
Yo, she's so good. She's so
Well,
good.
let's not push it, but
I am not saying that she's not, but I'm impressed when I see that all out of anybody. But all of a sudden you see that come out of her, and it's like, wow, like she knows that team very, very well. The stats come out and stuff like that. That's all. I'm not throwing her under the bus or anything.
No, she's awesome. And the blue hair just like it just makes the whole thing perfect all together.
All right, so I think that'll round out the show for today, folks. We appreciate you guys coming out to join us. If you guys are checking this out for the first time, it airs every week at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Smite Game. Shout outs to Hi-Rez Studios for allowing us to host this show on their channel, twitch.tv/Smite Game. And if you guys didn't get to check out the whole show, you're catching it late, check us out on our YouTube. It's at the very bottom of this overlay graphic, youtube.com/TheSmiteUpdate. You can check out all 67 episodes over there. I'm eager to see what I haven't figured it out yet, but eager to see what episode we get to before January, before the 200K. We'll see. Somebody will figure it out for us, but I'm excited. I am really excited once we hit 100. We'll have to do something special for 100.
And I guess the last point we wanted to make, I'll put before we go, I'll put the link in chat again for the second time. Don't forget that tickets for the regional lands are on sale. You can attend North America and Europe. That'll be November 22nd, if memory serves. I might be a little bit off, but it will be in November. So try to make it down. Smite Land events are always really cool.
Yeah.
Love to see the community there. This past one was really dope. I got to hang out with everybody. I'll be there. Octane won't because he sucks, but it'll be a lot of fun. So show up, guys, please.
I hate you. So outside of that, folks, make sure you check out the audio version on iTunes and also on Android. Just go ahead and search for SmiteUpdate, and you will be your first option there as well. We do appreciate you guys subscribing, and leave us feedback, not only here on Twitch, but also on iTunes. That helps to promote the show even more, especially on something like iTunes, where with iTunes, it's all fed by 5-star reviews. It's either 5-star or nothing, pretty much. So, please make sure you guys give us your honest feedback. We would appreciate it. And before we head out of here, Smitten, where can people check you out more in the future?
All right, youtube.com/GangFirstGaming, twitch.tv/Smitten, Twitter @SmittenGFG, and facebook.com/GangFirstGaming.
Awesome. And what can people expect from your stream this week? Anything special you got going on, or what do you got going on this week on your stream?
Pajama streams, try hard Wednesdays, Fridays. We pretty much have a theme for every day.
Okay. F. Dot, what about you? What do you got?
You can always find me in whatever the hell is running through my mind at that point in time at twitter.com/f.ny. It's probably the best place to follow me. Twitch.tv/fswag as well. That's important. I'm all over the internet. I'm all over Twitch as far as where I'm at. I do Banzus on Tuesdays on Smite Central. I'm here during the week, 10 o'clock. I'm here on Sundays, etc. If you go to twitch.tv/fswag, you can find my schedule at the bottom of my thingamajigger. And if you go to my Twitter, I generally remember to tweet out when I go live. I'm just really uncreative with my tweets. So follow me both, twitter.com/f.ny and twitch.tv/fswag. You got all the info you know.
By the way, can we now take the time to talk about, at the very end of the show, about your hype playlist over here? That is absolutely full of Kesha.
Yes.
Not even joking.
That's what I was saying.
That's your hype? That's your hype? That's how you get hyped?
Yeah, you love is my drug.
I gotta show you how to do it right, man.
Okay, excuse me. I'm all about that Kesha life. Everybody in chat knows.
So,
we love Kesha here.
Outside of that, guys, appreciate you guys coming out. You can check my content out. Octane Pro, SCII. That is Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Octane Pro, SCII. And, folks, we will see you next week, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern, right here on Smite Game. Please stay tuned. We're going to have Smite Talk show coming up next, if you guys are not familiar. The show goes ahead. It's myself and FG3000, and we take live calls to talk about, anything. It's kind of like a radio show where you guys call in, you bring up topics, and we talk about them. Completely open to anybody in the community. So stay tuned. We'll be back here 5 to 10 minutes with that show. Take care, everybody.